seconds, maybe 10 seconds. And I think we're live. So hello everyone, hello in the audience. Welcome to Brew York's live beer tasting. This is our 57th and our first, and our first since May 2025.
That sounded really fun.
Hello. So for anyone who's not joined us before, or anyone in the audience who doesn't know who we are, my name is Wayne. I'm MD at Brew York.
And that must make me Lee, production director at Brew York.
I did that really well because I'll just put us both on at the same time. It'll be easy, won't it?
Oh, yeah.
So if you don't realise what we're doing, it's a live stream. So we've got people in the audience. We've got people joining us on YouTube back home. And the software we use lets us put screen overlays on. Ideally, we'd normally have a TV and you guys can see it as well, but we don't have one of them. So when we start playing about, or when I start playing about on the screen, that's what I'm trying to sort out. So we do have some nice overlays that show you what beer we're drinking. But for you guys in the audience, we'll put some cans out and you'll hopefully know what you're drinking because it'll be in front of you. So it might make a bit more sense. So our first time doing YouTube for 3 months. Is it 3 months?
May
May
the 9th, I think, was the last one.
And yeah, we decided this year to take it down to just doing a live session every quarter. Give us a bit of time back, but also to keep you guys hopefully interested at home and build up your questions and make it a bit more engaging. So we've got some pretty good beers to drink tonight, and hopefully you'll all agree with that. Lee will tell you a bit more about what they are, but you might be wondering where we are. I think it did say on the intro video, didn't it? But we're at the Old Grey Mare in Clifton, which is one of the pubs we've opened this year. So we've talked a bit about it on the stream before, but for anyone who doesn't know where that is, it's actually quite a short walk from the train station. So the opposite direction to where you'd probably walk if you were just visiting York. But if you actually live in the area, it's actually pretty quick. It's closer to, I timed it, it's closer to walk from the train station to the Old Grey Mare than it is to walk to the tap room. You just got to know the secret little alleyways all the way back. Yeah, exactly. You can cut through. So it's actually pretty close to get to, and it's one of our, well, it is our first official in with character. So this is something I'll talk a little bit more about later on, but it's one of the brands we're using for our bars, and you'll get a little bit of consistency between the bars when we call them that. You'll know what we mean. But yeah, I won't talk about it too much. I'll tell you more about it later on. So one of the things we need you to do, we always talk about this at every beer tasting session. Stouts taste better when they're a bit warmer. So we've got a stout to drink later on. It's a pretty good one. It's a barrel-aged Imperial Stout. It's barrel-aged Empress S'mores.
S'mores, yes.
So get that out of your fridge, hold it on your armpit, warm it up. It's going to taste really good, especially under the armpit. We've got ours on the shelf and behind us. If you're wondering which beer it is, it's in the fancy little can. So yeah, one of the things we also always try to say is if you like the video, subscribe and click the like button. We don't do it monetary. We've never bothered setting it up on YouTube, but the more followers we have, the more subscribers you have, the more engaging it is when we do these videos. So please like it if you enjoy the content.
I thought we just told people to like it because Pete insisted that we always had to.
Pretty much.
Anyway, my job now is to go through the beer list, but before we get into that, I just wanted to kind of pick up on one thing you said about it. It's been a few months, and I think it really has highlighted to me how much we do as a business, because we've had to come up with a list of things that's gone on in the brewery, gone on bar-wise, and my God, it's a hell of a lot, quite frankly, in just the last 3 months. So I'm going to change the order of what I'm about to say because it'll fit better. So with the first beer, we will be talking about our recent highlights. So things that we've both done in the last 3 months, some personal, some work related. Then with beers 2 and 3, we'll be talking about what's gone on brewery wise and then what's gone on bar wise. And then as always, we conclude with talking about what you can see coming up. So beer highlights and what kind of events you can find us at. So yeah, as I've said, lots for us both to update you on relating to what's going on in the bars and in the brewery. But back to the correct running order. This is the bit where I tell you about the beers that are coming up. First of all, we're going to be having this little beauty, which is Yorkshire Rider. It's a 4.1% pale brewed with Kelham Island out of Sheffield. Next up, we have Njord's Fate, which I hope I'm pronouncing correctly, which is a fruited sour IPA produced as part of our Nine Realms Norse Mythology series made with our friends from Edinburgh Vault City. The third beer up is Brewmaster 5, or as we prefer to call it, Super Coney. I'll explain that a bit later on. 8.5% East Coast Dipper. And then we conclude with the aforementioned barrel-aged S'mores Empress. So we are going pretty big this time. So we start on 4.1, we're then going 6.5, we're then going 8.5, and then we conclude on 10.6. So this could get interesting. And the only bit I have to tell you beyond that is we want this to be as interactive as possible. It will be more interesting for you if you get involved, and it will also be likewise for us. So if you are online, you have the ability to post questions as comments alongside the video. We will try and pick those up, but if we miss them, we have our new head of marketing over here off camera.
Oh, he's not off camera
not
now.
Off camera. So, how are you doing that? The camera's not paying.
The laptop, the back of the laptop.
Oh, you put, right. So actually on camera, that was Andrew.
Oh.
Andrew's our new head of marketing. So if we miss any of your wonderful comments or questions, he will try and bring them to our attention.
And you know what else you can do, which would be pretty interesting for people at home? They can see that we're sat in a bar. We're sat in the what we call the beer cave at the Old Grey Mare, which is a function room on the side of the building. What you could do for us as a favour is do a bit of a show everybody where we're sat. Do a little, so everyone in the audience need to wave now. You're on camera, and then a little bit of a view through the window back into the Old Grey Mare, where you can see the inside outside, where we've got a retractable roof, and then the Yuzu
Cameras
dining
on
area.
laptops are really quite good. Aren't they?
They're pretty good.
Yeah, and if you're in the room and you have a question or a comment, just put your hand up. We'll come to you when we can.
Throw a microphone at you, and you can.
We're going to do that. We're going to
got
check
the
the
mics,
microphone.
so,
right,
yeah.
okay. We'll bring a mic for you, and you can ask your question as and when. So first up,
Yorkshire Rider.
yeah. So ordinarily you would do the first beer. I don't know if you'd had a look through
I
this
did
bit,
notice
but,
it changed the order.
I think because I was kind of more actively involved with this first beer, I've opted to talk about this one. So it's a collab, as I've already said, with Kellam Island. And Kellam Island were one of the kind of UK's first craft breweries. In fact, it was the first new independent brewery to open in Sheffield in over 100 years when it opened in 1990. So it does have a special place in many people's hearts. It was opened by a guy called Dave Wickett. In 2004, its iconic beer, Pale Rider, won the champion beer of Britain. But then, unfortunately, in 2022, the brewery found itself on hard times, like many in the industry, and it was facing closure. Thankfully, it had some big fans in the local Sheffield beer community. One of them was a guy called Jim O'Hara, who is the founder of Tramline's music festival. His brother Tom, and Simon Webster and Jim Harrison, who are both co-owners of Thornbridge Brewery. So they all decided it would be a travesty if Kellam was lost from the kind of beer scene in the UK. So they bought the brand, and those beers are now produced across at Thornbridge over in Bakewell.
It's on their second brew kit, isn't it? So the original brew kit, I believe, ended up in Carlton. The original smaller brew kit from Thornbridge. I don't know if I made that up. But and then they moved on to 10-barrel kit like we have in Warmgate, and then that's what's now moved into their main production brewery, but it's their experimental and cask range, and that's where most of the Kellam Island beer is brewed.
And do you know what's really cool is that through chatting to Jim and Tom, talking about the history of both Kellam and Thornbridge, when they were waiting to kind of get Thornbridge off the ground and they installed the brew kit for Thornbridge, the first beers that were brewed on that kit weren't Thornbridge beers. They were Kellam Island beers. So Kellam Island Pale Rider was the first beers produced out of Thornbridge. So that's pretty cool, I thought. So yeah, it's great that they were able to save this icon of our industry. And what we've done here with this particular beer is their Pale Rider is made with 2 hops. In fact, it's made with 4 hops, but the 2 ones that really contribute the flavour are Cascade and Chinook. Our core cask beer, Kellis, is also Cascade and Chinook. So we then had a chat between ourselves and thought, well, if we were to throw a 3rd hop into the mix, what would it be? And we both kind of independently went, it has to be Centennial. We both went for Centennial without really any debate. And so we've gone with kind of your pininess from the Chinook, your kind of grapefruity character from the Cascade, and then you get a floral character coming through from the Centennial as well. And what we were aiming to do with this, as a tribute to Pale Rider, is just make something that's not in your face. It's not like hugely hot. It's not going to overly challenge the palate. This is just meant to be really easy to drink, the kind of thing that you're going to sink many pints of. And I'm afraid for you in the audience and online, we've diddled you a bit. You got the can version. We've been cheeky and gone and got the cask version. Because I'm afraid for this type of beer, It is best on cask.
Hence why a lot more of mine's gone than normal at this stage. But then again, we haven't done a YouTube tasting for a while, so I'm probably drinking a bit of a different pace to normal. Yeah, it's really nice. I really enjoy it. I've obviously had a few pints of it over the last week or so since it came out on Yorkshire Day officially, didn't it? So 1st of August. But yeah, it's really nice. I obviously like Easy Rider. It's one of their biggest selling beers, but it's I'm also a big fan of our own beer, Keris. So I think it's a nice combo.
And it was a great collab. So it's the second collab. We went up to Thornbridge and we did a brew with them probably 6 to 8 months ago. They've then returned to us to do this leg. And we had myself and Tyler, who's our head of sales, I think is his official title. We then went and had a night out on the town with Jim and Tom. And my wife will remember that particular night because, let's just say I lost the inability to even use a cash machine by the end of the night. And she had to come and collect me and take me home. So it was a good night and a school night, unfortunately. So I did feel a bit ropey the day after.
Happens every now and then, doesn't it?
Yeah. She's smiling
once a week.
All right. Should we move on to what we've done in the last month? I felt last 3 months.
Quarter, yeah. Bars, just a few. I've spent obviously quite a lot of not obviously, if you don't know what we do, a lot of my time spent trying to either get the current bars running efficiently or try and find more bars, and that's been a big part of my workload the last few months. Hopefully you've seen on social media, we launched or reopened a venue last week officially, but it was kind of had a few sneak preview events. So we opened Carlton Towers Tap Room a couple of weeks ago, which has been great. And then we're opening a new bar in Scarborough next week. So Brew and Bow in Scarborough launches next Friday.
You know the beer too bit is where you talk.
I know. I'm not going to talk
don't give too much away now.
But yeah, doing lots and lots on bars. And then I had a nice break. So I managed to get a week off work, and I managed to time it perfectly with that boiling hot week at the start of July.
Whitby then,
got a week in Whitby and got sunburnt, which was amazing. And randomly, Chris and Emily, who own Yuzu, were caravanning in Whitby at the same time. I couldn't shake them in a good way. But yeah, we ended up having quite a few to drink with them up at Whitby Brewery, which was really good, on a nice sunny day. We had there's a lot. Like I say, it's been 3 months. So we had our staff get together. So every quarter we try and get all our staff together. We're up to about 150 employees now, so it's getting quite challenging when we do these to find enough food and drink for everybody. But yeah, we had that at the tap room a few months back. That was really good.
London I remember we did a really cool, maybe not really cool, kind of a little bit corporate, I guess, a Team Tower Challenge. We took some of the cans that we weren't going to fill, we took some labels, and they were given a set amount of cans, a set amount of labels, and they had to build as tall a tower as they could, but the thing at the top had to be a can. Let's just say some people were a little bit liberal in their interpretations of the rules. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. People really got into it. And yeah, it was a bit controversial towards the end. It
certainly does show the creative people in your teams, and also the people who like to bend and twist the rules a little bit. So yeah, you know, certain jobs, you know who to pass them to now after an event like that. London Craft Beer Festival. So that was last month, which was really good. We tend to go big at that festival, and we took a beer van out for a test drive. Pleased to say that as much of a nightmare as it was to set up and take down, it looked really good for the customers. We had 18 beers, sorry, not 18, I think we had 16 beers pouring at once, which was great for the festival. Not so great for Watters when it came to line cleaning, but he enjoyed it. And it worked well, so we bought that van now. So look out for it at future festivals. And also in the tap rooms, when we get a chance, we'll pull it up and add a bit of quick service. And then other interesting fun thing we've been working on is a little work trip myself and Leah going on in September. So it's all work, no play, but we're going to New York for a couple of days for my birthday, and then we're flying into Yakima for the hop harvest to pick our hops for the next year, which is 10 years. We turned 10 years next year. And it's the first time we've ever been to a hop harvest. Mainly because we use so much fruit, but,
well,
yeah, it's great to get.
I mean, we've been invited a few times. We've always kind of turned it down because of the cost involved and the other things that we had on our plate, etc. But this year we decided, you know what, it's almost 10 years. It's about time we did this. And with our new hop supplier, they basically said, fly yourselves out here and we'll cover your accommodation, your food, your travel, all your excursions, all this. So, I mean, how can we turn it down? When that's the offer.
Food and drinks for me and Lee, that's going to cost them a fortune.
Yeah, actually, I mean, your money used to go a long way for food in the US, but I believe that is not the case anymore.
No, and especially, I suppose we'll probably have to tip. Probably.
I don't think you really get a choice in that.
No, so that's where we'll spend our money on tips.
So, in terms of my last 3 months, I've got a healthy list of things here as well. So, I've had a couple of trips away with my wife and my lovely sister and brother-in-law. So, first of all, we went to London and to Chelsea Flower Show. But very mature, I know. And then we've been to Liverpool, where I also got suntanned. I mean, who gets suntanned in Liverpool? I do, because I have vampiric skin. We've also done a number of collabs in the last month, and I've had a lot of fun. So I've already said about the Callum one was really fun. I really enjoyed my time down in Chelmsford at Radio City Brewing. And we did that on a Saturday. And the reason we did it on a Saturday is because they also own a gig venue. So we went and did a collab, had a barbecue, and then went to a doom metal gig on the evening, which was amazing. What was the band called? Frog something.
The guy was dressed up as a frog.
Yeah. I've forgotten the bloody band name. Froglord. So the main act was called Froglord. So our guest, Dan, the owner of the brewery, dressed up as an inflatable frog to welcome everybody to the event. And this was one of the warmest days of the year, so he soon regretted that. But I mean, 10 out of 10 for effort. We also had some fantastic collabs, a couple of them with Green Gold, who came over from Slovenia, who own a hop farm out there. And I'm hoping to get out there next year because do you know what? As well as having a hop farm, they host a bloody metal festival on their hop farm. So that sounds epic. So we're hoping to get out there to that. Sorry, Polly, probably should have mentioned that before. And then just last week, we had Salama from Finland in town to brew a mountain IPA with us. So we had a cracking night on the town with Rui, who, although he works for Finnish breweries, in fact from Portugal. One of my biggest highlights, it has to be said, of the last 3 months is I'm privileged to be part of a local guild. It's called the Company of Merchant Adventurers, and through that I organise a charity beer festival. It was early July, and I'm pleased to say we raised £28,000 through that festival.
Each year it's getting bigger and bigger, isn't it?
Yeah, so year one, I think we raised about 15,000. Year 2, 21. Year 3, 28. So we have to break 30 next year. So for anybody watching or in the room who was involved, and I'm looking over at you, Chris, because you jumped on the bar for us as well there. Thank you to all of you for your incredible generosity, whether you contributed to the festival or just turned up and purchased some of it. So yeah, it was an amazing event. Can't wait to do it again next year. But on the other hand, I am glad it is a whole year away because it's a lot of goddamn effort. Final couple of things. Me and my wife went and had a charity meal in the Minster, where you pay a not insignificant sum to go and dine in the Minster, because it's obviously contributing to their fundraising. And you have this most amazing meal, and I had to put a chef's hat and apron on and carve the beef that's brought to your table, which was fun. But one of the real highlights of it was we met these lovely Americans. And I was sat next to this lady who runs a ranch in Texas. So I was quizzing her about, have you seen Yellowstone then? Is it realistic? And she was quizzing me about, well, we like Clarkson's farm. Is that realistic? So I don't really know anything about farming, but I can't believe you're watching Clarkson's farm. And apparently Yellowstone is only semi-realistic.
They don't all kill each other and fight everyone.
She did show me a video. First of all, she showed me a photo of her Ford F-150, which is the 4 wheels at the back, big Ford, incredible car, a bit too wide for UK roads. And then she showed me a video of her husband lassoing a cow. You know when they do the thing and it wraps around the legs and it kind of stops them moving? He did that, and I was like, wow, that actually does happen then. So yeah, pretty impressive. And the final thing I want to point out is through Brew York, myself and Wayne both sponsor York Rugby League Club. And through that, we have in the Valkyrie, the women's champions of the last 2 years. And the Knights, the men's team, have kind of been there or thereabouts for the last few years. But this year, they've won their last 12 games in the league. They are playing amazingly and looking like they might have a chance of getting to go up, although there's lots of politics involved. It's not simple promotion. It's about points and stuff, but I'm not going to go into any of that bollocks right now. Okay.
Yeah, it's one of those weird things. So normally, if you don't follow sports, but leagues are usually rewarded if you win the league, you get promoted, and if you finish bottom of the league, you get relegated. Not in a rugby league where the teams don't ever change unless someone with a big checkbook writes a load of rules. And anyway, we weren't
going to go there, but I mean, one of the things, for example, is your scoreboard big enough?
Yeah.
If your scoreboard's big enough, even if you wasn't big enough, even if you won the league, you wouldn't get to go up.
And if you have comfy leather seats, that's a point. That's a point thing. But yeah, it's very strange. But the Knights have done a really good job of doing all those things and being good, successful on the pitch. So fingers crossed. So
I think we'll throw it out to questions then. So has anything caught your attention so far?
I started a few, but let's. Has Andrew spotted any? Do you want me to? Does it show you when I've started them as well? Yes. So what? There we go. That's more like my eyesight. So one from Ian Saunders. So every tasting, we ask people to take stouts out of the fridge. So his question is, what is that doing in the fridge in the first place? I keep my dark beers in a cool place at room temperature. So quite simply, if you keep your store beer cold, it lasts longer, even stouts. So stouts will taste better when they're warmer, but if you store them cold, they'll stay fresher longer, and then you warm them up when you drink them. So, you don't eat steak cold, do you? You cook it, but also you bring it up to temperature before you cook it. So by storing it in the fridge, it keeps fresh longer, and then you get it ready to drink or eat when you're ready to drink or eat it.
Yeah, but probably nothing too wrong with keeping your stouts ambient. The flavour isn't particularly going to degrade, whereas if you were storing your hoppy beers warm, then you are going to see a quick degradation of flavour. But yeah, I would agree with Wayne. Keep them all cold. You'll preserve the flavour for longer, and then move them to their optimal serving conditions.
Yeah, and the downside of doing that, obviously, is when you get home, or you can't be as what's the right word, spontaneous. You get in and you think, I really fancy a stout, but all your stouts are in the fridge and they're really cold. Yeah. Whereas if you do store them ambient and you drink them quick enough, then you've got the perfect win-win situation. Yeah. Fortunately, we do too many, not too many, we do a lot of different stouts. So I do end up with a lot of stouts that I haven't drank, and I want to keep them fresh longer.
Go, next.
So this is just a comment from Richard Wingrove. He's been out for a couple at the pub next door, so he might not be able to make it all the way through to the barrel-aged stout at the end. So he might have to have that maybe tomorrow. Another question. There you go. You want to do that one?
Oh, so from Joanna.
I didn't realise it was from Joanna. I wouldn't have put it up.
Smells like green spirit was limited release. Any chance of doing some more so more of us can enjoy it? So I did briefly mention 2 collabs with Green Gold. So we did one which was a sessionable pale, not too dissimilar to this. Not surprisingly made with Slovenian hops, given we were working with a Slovenian hop producer. And incidentally, that won beer with the festival at the Merchant Adventurers Charity Beer Festival. Definitely wasn't rigged by Luca, the owner of Green Gold. And at the same time, we also did a double IPA, but our favourite kind of double IPA, the way they used to be, the West Coast style, which combined the best of US and Slovenian hops. And it was a banging beer, you're quite right, Joanna. But it was produced at Warmgate, so it was quite small scale. There wasn't a lot of it. But as much as we might like those things, there is still a limited audience for the beers of that kind of strength. So if we were to do it again, it would probably be the similar sort of quantity, really. And we'd probably leave it like 6 to 12 months before doing something like that again. because there is a finite appeal, a finite number of people who are wanting to purchase and drink these things.
So I mentioned London Craft Beer Festival earlier, and this is give myself a pat on the back for on Green Gold's behalf.
Oh, you're so bum.
Pat myself on the bum, yeah, like you do with Asda price. We always talk about this as well. I'm pretty obsessed with West Coast, as is Lee. So at London Craft Beer Festival, we were opposite Sierra Nevada, so perfect space. So I was on my West Coast hunt, and Andy,
torpedo.
yeah, it was really good. The torpedo on as well. But Andy from Elusive walked by, so I went and grabbed him and started talking to him. And I realised that Green Gold were near us as well, and they had a West Coast on. Tried it, really, really good. I didn't get a chance to try it when they were on in the tap room, but it was really, really good. And I just kept telling everyone how good it was. And the Beer 52 buyer walks up, starts having a chat with me, and I was like, "You tried their West Coast?" So he does, and loves it. And gives them a listing for about 30,000 cans on the back of it. So I'm the unofficial Green Gold cheerleader.
Well, you told me another story about. I think round about the same time, you found yourself chatting to this guy, and then you realised his surname was Grossman.
Yeah.
And Ken Grossman is the founder of Sierra Nevada, and it wasn't Ken, but it turns out Ken's brother does distribution in Europe.
Yeah, he's the brand ambassador for Sierra Nevada in the rest of the world. So stood waiting for Andy from Elusive because he's queuing to get a Sierra Nevada beer. We're all just West Coast fanboys, so we just stood waiting, and then started talking to the guy who was American who was working the bar, and I realised it was Steve Grossman, who's knows everybody in the industry, has been around promoting Sierra Nevada, got probably
over
a big
40 years, it would be
big reason why we set this brewery up, because he got his beers into the UK and we started drinking them. So yeah, it was a proper fangirl moment for me. So it was good.
Fangirl. Any questions in the room at this point? No? Yeah.
One second, sorry, let me chuck you a mic.
Oh, got a mic coming to you.
Who wants to come on? There we go, testing one.
Mike's coming to you. A mic for Mike.
The Yorkshire Rider, I think it's the first time I've tried it, but I've had the chance to drink Allen's from your cask and out the tin. And personally, I prefer the tin. It feels sharper, a little bit more bitter, suits my taste. Is that why you have there's quite a big difference. The cask is a lot smoother to me. The sharpness isn't there. Is that just because of the conditioning in the tin?
So a number of factors there. So it does come from the same batch of beer. So same ingredients, prepared the same way.
Our stream seems to have gone down for some reason. I don't know why.
Oh, right. Wayne's working on the technology thing. I'll carry on talking. So yeah, a number of things are going to be different. So first of all, you drink
Hi guys, sorry about that. We're back online. If you're watching at home, you guys are still watching by the looks of it. Hopefully you can hear us as well. Annoying technical issue with no internet. We lost the internet connection at the Old Grey Mare. We seem to be back online, but can you give us a thumbs up at home if you can hear us? And we're back, yeah. So we do seem to be back. So sorry guys, you missed a few of the questions there because we lost connection, but we've held on before talking about the new beer till we got you back on stream. So yeah, here we go with Njord's Fate, as Lee said earlier. So did we need to roll and shake, or is it not that intense?
Well, I think if you're pouring it all out in one go, it shouldn't matter. By the time you pour out the end of the can, you'll get everything in.
So you didn't spot Joanna. Where's Joanna? She's disappeared. She's put all our glasses out here for us next to you.
Oh. And I probably should have noticed actually. I keep clattering them with my elbow.
So this beer, Njord's Fate, it's the latest in our Nine Realms series. So if you are familiar with it by now, Nine Realms is our Norse mythology series TV, I guess. We're doing 9 different beers with 9 different breweries, all collaborations and all pale.
Yeah, I think as I've said in the notes here, we have kind of stretched the interpretation of pale here. So this is a sour IPA with fruit in. So
we wanted to try and keep the range a little bit interesting. We do think they're interesting, the styles we're doing, but we just tried to push the boundaries a little bit. We were working with Vault City, so this is a collaboration with Vault City, our friends up in Edinburgh. And if you're brewing a beer with Vault City, you've got to go heavy in one thing, and that's fruit. So this is actually our 3rd beer that we brewed with Vault City. The first one was for our birthday back in our 5th birthday, so quite a long time back now. So if you remember coming out of COVID, we did the breakfast series and we did a big beer festival up at Hanley, the first one we did. And then we launched all this range, and Juice was probably my favourite beer. Still is one of my favourite beers we've brewed.
Agreed.
There was very, very little reminiscence of alcohol in that beer. It was like drinking...
It was...
Bongo.
8%. 8%, and you could do 4 cans in an hour quite easily.
Like Reef. Do you remember the alcoholic soft drink Reef? Not soft drink. It was.
I remember being in a nightclub in Newcastle, and they had Reef on £1 a bottle, and I had to go home because I had stomach cramps.
But yeah, it was pretty good like that. So this was that was the first beer we did with them, Juice. They did a remastered version of Juice early this year, a few months back, which they brewed back in Edinburgh, in Portobello, where their brewery is. And then this is a play on that. So we've used the same fruits that we brewed, that we used in Juice, but we've used them in a sour IPA. So taking lessons from what Vault City do. So we've used 2 different types of yeast in this beer. So lactobacillus to get the sour in, and then a kveik.
You're right first time.
Yeast for the fermentation to convert the sugar into alcohol. So because it is a sour IPA, it's not all about the fruit. It is still brewed like an IPA with the hops and the bitterness and a little bit of flavour, and then the fruit brings the balance a little bit to the sour. And I've never tried this beer. The guys have packaged it at the start of the week. I haven't had a chance to try it yet. So
I'm really. I mean, I was concerned because I drank this pre-packaging, and it was a little bit, a lot more bitter than I was expecting it to be. And I still think that has some bitterness in there that I'd rather wasn't there, but it's not like it was when I drank it pre-packaging. So I think it's not too bad now.
No, the bitterness is quite nice. It reminds me of drinking fruit juice.
It's pithy, isn't it? It's like you've got a bit of orange zest in there or something.
And in this beer, hop-wise, Talus and
Crush.
Cool hop name.
Otherwise known as HBC 586, or it was until 2024. So this is one of the latest things to come out of the hop breeding company's program over in the US.
And maltodextrin as well, candy floss style. This happens all the time. The watch is telling him.
Yeah.
Very, very quickly to the audience at home and in person, what do you think of this? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Honestly, you can be completely honest if you don't like it. I think it's really good. We've got a question coming. A preemptive question. Well, you probably should have, but now you've interrupted everyone, Chris. We're going to have to let you ask the question.
Right. So when you do a collab like this with Vault City, So when you do the recipe, is that collaboration on the recipe, or is it just collaboration on the brewing?
It will depend on who you're working with and how involved the other brewery wants to be. So this one I would say was more Brew York led.
Okay.
So we kind of had a concept of what we wanted to do, but it does hark back to what we've done before, which is what Wayne has already said. So it's the fruits that we had in our previous collab. It's the same fruits that they put in the rebrewed juice that they just did up in Portobello. But yeah, it can be very varied. Some collabs, you can have email exchanges that go on for pages and pages where you're getting stupidly technical about everything that probably doesn't even really matter. And then others can be a bit more light touch. And then I'll be completely honest with you, some of them are a little bit more like marketing activities where they don't particularly want to be involved and they're happy for their name to be on your beer or vice versa.
As long as it didn't go in a supermarket.
Enough.
Great, thanks.
Yeah, there's a story to that, and we're not drunk enough to tell you that one. But there is another story to the original juice. This is when we ran into the Advertising Standards Agency. So you probably remember the story. When we stupidly said with the original beer that one, because it was part of our breakfast series that we'd done for our 5th birthday, that you could consume it at breakfast. And we also said because of its fruit content, it would qualify as one of your 5 a day.
I think it does. Well, I know it does. There's that much fruit in that beer. It's definitely one of your 5 a day.
I mean, technically true. We can't back up the breakfast drinking thing, but we probably could back up the one of your 5 a day thing. But yeah, they rightly upheld that complaint and told us off. And they even told off Vault City for sharing our tweet that mentioned it. Anyway, there you go.
And it was obviously quite a long time
Lesson
ago.
learned.
We've been told off plenty of times over the years. But believe it or not, back then, Vault City were only, 2 or 3 years old. So it was probably the first time they'd had a proper telling off for something like that. So, yeah, we welcome them to the Naughty Boys Corner.
Well, they're a phenomenal brewery, and they've had a hell of a journey. I don't know if this is true, but I was told that they're the 2nd biggest sour producing brewery in Europe now, after Boone, the Belgian guys. And I kind of feel like that could be true, but
They do a big volume, don't they? And I think they produce is sour, well, apart from the stouts.
Indeed. Right, so we will now move on to talking about what's gone on with the brewery in the last few months. So we have invested massively on further expansion and improvement in our infrastructure. So one of the first things we did was acquire a new dryer for our canning line, which Wayne has quite smartly called Canny Dryer. Which I do like.
Named after my Knaresborough mate. Oh, no.
So I'm not going to go into too much detail, but it's spec'd to do about 10 times the throughput that we're putting through it. So it's a magnificent piece of kit. We've also sourced a new keg washer and filler because we're doing about 2,500 kegs a month, and we don't bring them in clean. We clean them all ourselves. So we needed something that did it a little bit quicker. So we brought that in. But the most significant thing, which I presume many of you have seen on social media, is all those fancy extra bits of steel we brought in. So we have acquired 11 new, well, as Bob Marley would say, brand new second-hand vessels, and they have come from Brixton Brewery. So Brixton Brewery were bought out by Heineken many, many years ago. But Heineken, unlike what they do with most breweries, they didn't immediately absorb the brands into some other brewery elsewhere. They actually invested into the Brixton site and made that brewery quite a substantial brewery in the end. But Heineken then also bought Beavertown and put even more money into that and created what is called Beaver World.
Is it really called that? Or is it just what we call it?
No, it's called Beaver World. It's called Beaver World. And at Beaver World, they have such huge capacity that it didn't make sense for Heineken to operate 2 big craft breweries in London, especially when you consider the rental prices. in London. So what they did is they moved all the production of the Brixton beers into the Beavertown facility in Enfield, and then needed to sell off the site and all the equipment from Brixton. So between ourselves and Full Circle, we have bought the entire cellar that they had there. And we've had, at extreme expense, vessels moved up to York. And of the 11, we've integrated 7 into our system already. We can't do the remainder just yet because we first of all need to get Northern Power Grid to get us more power. And then after that, we need to get a new process chiller to be able to chill more beer. And after that, we then need to extend the packaging floor because we're going to eat up all of the space that we currently package beer in. And yeah, anyway, it goes on and it goes on. And we're talking about some substantial numbers to be able to do this next phase. And I can see Chris, the finance guy, panicking at the back of the room.
Just bought a new Ferrari. Can you build me a garage to store it in?
That's kind of what it's like, isn't it?
But yeah, just the 7 tanks alone has really helped with our production capacity. That's going to give us a lot more breathing space than we've had previously. Just not quite yet. It's just a few little bits and pieces to go to get them operating smoothly. Interesting one though. Jumping back a step, we talked a little bit about Heineken and Beaver World there. I was in a meeting yesterday, and I didn't realise that the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium no longer is Heineken. So all the beer in the stadium, is no longer Heineken. So that the breweries come out. So there was a Beavertown brewery in the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and that's meant you could get neck oil on draft there. Don't get me wrong, neck oil is not an amazing beer, but it's a lot better than the other crap they put in the stadium. So you can't get that anymore. So apparently it's just really, really average beer again.
Oh, because I remember when we collabed with Beavertown pre-buyout, I must say, and Logan was telling us that they sold 2,000 hectolitres of beer into that stadium per year. So the like duty level cut-off is 5,000 hectolitres, 500,000 litres a year. And that's when you start to have to pay extra tax. And they were producing 40% of that in this just one place, this stadium. So 200,000 litres of beer was being sold in that stadium. And they told us that neck oil was outselling lager. Well, no pale ale anywhere outsells lager. So that's quite impressive if that was true.
They just made it taste really like lager to
Maybe. Other developments in the brewery. I mean, one we've already said about, we've got a new event vehicle. For those of you that didn't make it down to London, it's a very sexy little thing. Can
we talk about what was on the event vehicle?
Both, of course. Has he got a body kit as well? So basically, it's correct me if I'm wrong here. It's a Citroen Relay that has a body kit on it to make it look like a retro Citroen van, and it is beautiful. And it has been significantly modified to have an 18-line keg wall in it. So it's a wonderful piece of kit, which Wayne has already said it got a bit of a trial run down at London. We took it to the launch of Carlton Towers Tap, and we will be looking for another opportunity to put it out there, and certainly it'll be at our birthday bash next year, and hopefully a few other places.
Yeah, it better get more use than just our birthday, given how much it's going to cost us. But
It's actually housed in the...
That's there's a question from the audience about
not big enough van for that.
how the kegs are they in the van. That's the biggest problem at the moment. It was set up for long-term events, so we bought off the guys who do the teepees in and around York, and they're there for 2 months, so they have a completely separate trailer with all the beers in, and then it pumps into the van, which we're doing a rock up in a weekend. We want it to be able to turn up and serve, so that's where we're going to spend a bit of time and money converting it to make sure that the guys can just go to an event, park up, spend maybe an hour setting up, and then you're ready to go, and an hour packing down and drive off. A lot of our events is a half a day setup, half a day pack down, which setup's not bad. The pack down's horrendous after a long weekend of beer festivals. So we'll make improvements, but hopefully you guys will just see it'll look great and you'll enjoy it. So.
Yeah, we have ambitions to kind of go a little bit more mainstream, get it further afield, and I'm not saying this is definitely happening, but the kind of thing we might entertain is you want to brew your bar at your wedding. This is the kind of thing that could make that happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else have been going on in the brewery?
So lots of personnel changes. So ordinarily I wouldn't tell you about this, but I'm going to say this because I want to give some special mentions to a few people. So some people that are going to be departing, unfortunately. So Glenn, who has been with us through thick and thin, started out working behind the bar, then worked up through being a brewery assistant, package assistant, packaging manager, and yeah, as until recently being our kind of head of packaging. Unfortunately for us, he's moving back to Australia, and that happens in 2 or 3 weeks' time. We have another kind of sob story, Gordy, who returned to us from Heineken. There they go again. Has unfortunately decided he's not able to continue in brewing because of his recurring back issues. I'm sure he won't mind me mentioning that. So he's seeking something a little bit more sedate. And then Ben, one of our brewers, is also moving on to other pastures. But it's not all bad news. We have brought in Jake, a really good Dre guy, recently. We've had a new guy called George join us. And because we decided we cannot be doing without an Aussie on the team, we brought in a guy called Stefan to be one of our packaging assistants, who actually has experience brewing across in Australia. So I'm sure he'll add value. And then we had a great guy join quite a while back that we've recently promoted to do some of what Glenn was doing for us. So Robin is stepping up from being an assistant to running the packaging side of things for us. So there you go.
I can't believe you didn't mention Glenn's biggest accolade, the founder and creator of Snake Farm, aka Brewmaster. What number was it? 3?
3, I think you're right. 3, yeah. Glenn will forever be remembered for his eternal nagging to put jalapenos in all beers.
Need to get some...
which we did, as you said, finally concede on. We did allow it the once.
We'll get some jalapenos in. So I think it's his leaving party
Not
next
this
Saturday.
weekend, the weekend after.
So I'll have to get a load of jalapenos in and blitz them up into a cocktail for him. You know, like a pickleback.
Oh, mate, you know the jalapeno ciders. Let's cure some of them for him.
He'll love it. Okay, so
questions before we move on.
A few more questions.
All right, Andrew, anything stood out to you?
Yeah, so I'll put this one on screen. So Ian Saunders has said, I've got one of those label books to put all my Brew York can labels in. How come you seem to be mostly doing printed cans?
Yeah.
I got a few more asking about that.
I've got 3 sticker books.
Right, that one's probably on me. I'm going to have to own that one, I think. So this was my ambition to remove points of failure in our process. So when you are labeling and both date coding cans, you've got, first of all, point of failure 1, it could go wrong with the canning. Point of failure 2, it could go wrong with the wrapping of the label. Point of failure 3, it could go wrong with the application of a date and batch code to it. So these issues were happening too often. It was really holding us back and preventing us from getting a good day's work done efficiently. So I made the call that, with the exception of particularly special beers like what we're doing with this one here, the 9 Realms series, that we would move to a digital printed can where it would have pre-printed on it the date code and the batch code, and we don't have the concern of the label machine not operating the way we think it's going to operate. So yeah, that one's on me, I'm afraid. I know that will piss a few people off. I know you like our labels.
Including Chris in the corner, because it costs us more for the digitally printed ones than a can and a sticker.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a cost-saving exercise, I can say that, because we have probably spending about twice as much money per can.
Thankfully, not twice as much. Don't worry, he's exaggerating for a fact.
Well, it's a healthy premium. That's for sure.
It is a healthy premium, but the overall cost to us as a business is probably cheaper in terms of downtime, productivity, all those important things of continuous supply.
For those people who are not removing the label to put it into a book, I think the printed can looks better. You've got that full end-to-end finish. It makes it compete with the kind of big producers, where previously, to get that effect, the end-to-end branding, your minimum order quantity was 250,000 cans.
So a new
Now we have to order 351 cans.
Yeah,
That's the MOQ, minimum order quantity.
So we haven't forgot about your key, don't worry. Just one last point on this. If you do want more stickers to put in your books, come and see us at events. We've got a little sticker dispensing machine, and we've got lots and lots of basically leftover labels that didn't get applied at different points, including lots of limited edition beers you might not have had before. So we'll keep bringing them to festivals, events. Keep coming and see us, and we'll make sure that you can fill your books.
Yeah, and we're not saying forevermore that this is the way we're going. There still will be some labelled beers, but in the interest of efficiency, we have opted to go with a digitally printed can, and I do think that they do look really good, but I get it's going to irk a few people.
The sticker book was a really good idea.
It was the sticker book was a thing we brought it out in COVID for a reason, because people like collecting things, and we thought, what a great way to encourage you guys to peel off your labels and actually use them for something rather than just going in the bin. It's just, as we've grown with scale, the efficiencies we talked about, it makes more sense.
And it's possible we misjudged things, but we thought maybe the labels are value to add. But we have had people get in touch saying the only reason I bought Brew York beers was for the labels.
Beer shit, labels good.
And I'm thinking, well, that's a bit extreme. We exist to make good liquid. Surely the labels should be the bonus, not the reason.
Yeah. Here for the labels, I stay for the beer.
Well, there we go. Yeah.
You did instigate a lot of the other companies to do the same, to make the labels more interesting.
So a comment has come from in the room that we may have encouraged others to make their labels a little bit more interesting. Possibly. I'd like that to be true. I don't know if that is true, but
you're allowed out your corner now, Keir. Come on, let's get a question.
Thank you, and apologies for late entrance, but I had a very good brewery tour. I do the tour of guys in brewery.
Oh, you just pat yourself on the back?
Yeah, exactly.
I just did a really good beer.
Hour and 45 minutes. Good value for money.
That's nothing on Lee. You used to do about 2.5 hours, didn't you?
Yeah.
That'd be a short one.
Yeah, it was. You mentioned about the labels. I did have an email at the beginning of the release of the Nine Realms series that mentioned a poster that I could put my beer labels on. Have we got those posters? Are they available? Are they coming?
We do have those posters. They have been around since the first iteration. We've obviously not done a very good job of making people aware of that.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they're on our website, but
I might misplace
Joanna,
I'm sure we can find you another one.
When anyone sees Joanna walking past, she'll tell. Oh, there she is. She'll know where they are.
Don't you be messing around with our internet doing other things. We've already had issues.
Don't be streaming live sports at the same time.
That was a really nice idea having a display.
Yeah, well, that's one. Whenever we do ranges of beers, we obviously want you to buy them all from a commercial standpoint, but not just that. We want you to try them all as well, and doing something where you want to keep going back and buying the more of them and putting them on a poster and stuff like that really helps. The other thing that really works well, shouldn't be trade secrets, so not consumer secrets. These are for other breweries. Is numbering things. If you number things, then people want to have everyone in a collection. It's one of those weird things that we as consumers we want to make sure we've collected them all, Pokemon style.
You mean like the Cloudwater Dipper series?
Oh yeah. So we've got a few more.
How are we doing in the room temperature wise? Yeah, okay.
I turned that bulb off for us to cool us down a bit.
It's just me that's getting really warm now. Josh is saying he's warm. Oh, is he saying he's okay? He's fine. Oh, okay. I was going to say, should we risk opening the window? But no, you think the noise is too much. Fair enough. We'll persevere.
So, do we want another beer? Do you want some Super Coney? I think everyone else is ahead of us.
The bears shit in the woods.
So good job, Joanna brought us all extra glasses, because mine are all full.
Any final thoughts on the sour, fruited sour IPA we've just done? No? Okay, we'll move on.
Overall, I think it was a thumbs up.
What's the tang? Mango with a tang.
Oh, the tang. What is the tang, Lee?
Mango with a tang. Tang.
Mango papaya with tang.
Yeah, tang is just a way of saying something sharp or yeah, sour. No, tang is not an ingredient, mother.
Tang-fastic.
Yeah.
Well, he eats a lot of tang-fastic, but I don't think they're in there.
It's probably called cheesy what's-it. They put them in at the end.
Oh, is this one me?
Yeah.
Right, I need a glass. I know. I'm gonna have that one.
After that, that's gone.
You forget about the sourness because of the fruit.
Disappears after the first taste, and I'm quite pleasantly drink that, and I'm not a sour. So to me, it's just basically the first taste. After that,
So that sounds
like the chili bottle. You get the burn, you get the benefit of the
hit up front. Sounds like we need to get Dom to put it on in the tap.
Right. Well, I think what we need to make a record of here is that most, if not all, of the feedback has been positive. And the reason I want this on the record is I really love sour IPAs. but the sales team keeps telling me to not make them.
They unfortunately just don't sell as well because it's a style people don't know as well. But you've all demonstrated that even if you don't know the style, hopefully once you've tasted it, you'll like it. So we just need to work on how do we market it better. Just glance over to the left of the market manager. How do we market and promote this style better?
If you turned it round and that IPA sour as opposed to a sour IPA.
Fruity IPA.
Well, maybe with the sour like in a smaller font, maybe even in brackets.
It comes after the reading IPA first, so it's a bit after.
Well, maybe the advertising standards agency would come after us again then. You never know. Anyway, next beer up is this little beauty. So we have this series of beers called the Brewmaster series. And this is produced out of our original site in Warngate. And the intention of this series is kind of a bit like I've been discussing there, is to produce the things we wouldn't have the balls to produce at the big site because we don't think we'd sell them in the volume that we are committing to by producing them at the big sites. So we're going to do like weird kind of sours, stronger beers. In time, we hope to do a barley wine as part of this series, which unbelievably we've never done in almost our 10 years.
Lactose barley wine.
Fuck off.
The bacon special.
That's not happening. And mostly what we've done is we've said, Jack, the brewer at Wonga, this is your free reign. Shackles off, what you're going to do. With this one, we actually took a slightly different approach. We said, what we want from you is we want super Coney. We want you to turn our flagship core beer, Coney, into a double IPA. And I, for one, think he's done a magnificent job with that. So let's get it cracked open.
What ABV we've gone for double IPA?
So we've gone for 8.5%. So if you were saying double IPA, traditionally it's supposed to mean double the previous beer, double the quantity of ingredients, and so forth. So given Coney's 4.5, that kind of means that this should have been 9%. But if you go above 8.5, you stray into the high taxation territory. It would add, this isn't just for us guys, that would add a lot of cost to the beer that you might not want to pay. So if we keep it at 8.5, it makes it a little bit more affordable. And I think 8.5 is probably enough really anyway.
Should have stretched it, shouldn't
I
we?
must be getting old saying that.
Gone with the tolerance and called it 9 and sold it at 8.5.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah. No, it's really good. I haven't tasted it before. I just tend to drink our sensible beers nowadays. So yeah, it's really nice. Tell us more about it, rather than me just saying it's nice.
Well, I mean, there's not much more to say really. It's double Coney. So Coney is
Same
like
hops.
all of our hazy. It's made with barley, oats, wheat, and this beer again, like Coney, has what we call the holy triumvirate.
What?
Yeah, I've been thinking. Of hops, Citra, Mosaic, Simcoe. These, if there's anything you could call the no-fail hops, it would be Citra, Mosaic, Simcoe. You put those three together, you're going to have to be a shit brewer to turn them into a bad beer.
Sounds like a challenge. I want people out there to tell us any Citra, Mosaic, Simcoe beers that they think are really bad. As long as it's not one of ours, then we'll be all right. No, it's good beer. And the series itself, the Brewmaster range, was really cool concept because we're not actually packaging much of it. So if you're a subscriber, you get a can of it each month. or each month, every time we release them, but we don't brew much more than that. And if they turn out to be popular, we'll always look at rebrewing it on the big kit, where we'll have a few more advantages on that scale. We can make the beer a little bit cheaper. We can actually reduce the end price for you guys, but also make it more consistent. So you're brewing a bigger batch, you'll get more beer out there to people. So when Joanna said earlier about how do we get some of these beers to a wider audience, then that's what we do. Buy lots of this beer, convince us to brew it on the big kit, and we'll do that.
Oh, yeah.
I can imagine Tyler's face if we brew a 50 hect batch of a double IPA.
I think he'll resign on the spot if I tell him he's got to sell that much dipper. So I actually, sorry Chris, 1 second mate. Before heading here, I was actually just leaving the brewery and Jack arrived from Warmgate and said, would you taste Brewmaster 6 for me?
Oh, I'm excited about that one.
And
no spoilers. No spoilers.
Well, you know me, spoilers, always spoilers. And it's really good. Banging. He has created a mango and passion fruit lassi sour. And it's really good. Really good. Yeah. I see my mum putting her hand up at the back. Yeah. My mum only visits me at the brewery in case I have like leftover sours, underfill sours.
What about sour IPAs?
Sour IPAs? Are we convinced on that one now?
I'm quite liking that one.
You like quite that one? Good. Good.
I happen to have a Coney as my warm chaser beer from earlier, so I can do a side by side.
I've got a few
So,
things queued up.
you got enough
I've
beers
got
then?
a question about the what did you call it? Super Coney.
Super Coney.
So how do you do that? How do you kind of go from Coney at 4.5 to this at 8.5? Do you just start off by saying, right, I'm going to double the grain bill to make it double the strength and double the hops?
Double the price, Chris, as well.
And of course, double the... How do you know what to do? How do you know that it's going to work? Because that's amazing for me.
Yeah, there's a bit more science to it than that.
Yeah, certainly not double.
Just using double the barley doesn't get you double the sugar. The science doesn't work that way, unfortunately. Otherwise, our life would be very simple. But these days, there are wonderful bits of technology like online recipe calculators that do all that shit for you. So now I don't have to get my pen and pencil and calculator out and work out extraction rates at different kind of glycemic, whatever. I don't have to do that. I just have a tool online that does that now.
But the key's trying to keep the...
And it's also not the same. You don't just double everything. So what would make this more understandable is if we talk about a strong stout. So in a weak stout, you've got a certain amount of pale, and that's giving you sugar. And then you've got some caramels and dark things that are giving you the dark bit. If you want to create a stout that's double the strength of that, if you double everything, okay, you double the pale bit, that gives you more sugar, you're going to get more alcohol, perfect. If you double the other bits, then the flavour is going to be really astringent, really overpowering, etc. Yeah. So it's about balancing these things. So you are going to lead a little bit more of those darker things, but it will not be double. It becomes too much. So you've kind of got the bits doing the flavour, the colour, which you'll tweak a little bit, but then you've got the bits doing the alcohol, and that's the bit that you really need to elevate. But in a pale one like this, where it's a hazy, you do, of course, have to bring the protein level up as well. So you do need to elevate the oats, you do need to elevate the wheat, but it wouldn't necessarily be double. Right. Otherwise, you're going to find lautering, getting the water to pass through the beer, an absolute nightmare.
Same with hopping rates as well. Just doubling the hops isn't going to get the same utilised, or you're not be able to taste it the same. So it just wouldn't really work. You're just going to waste loads of money on hops, but you won't get a change in flavour. So you'll do test brews, work out what volume of hops works well, and once you've got that balance right, you'll settle there. Otherwise, you're just throwing money after a stat to make it double rather than actual getting the full flavour.
Yeah, we've kind of had these arms races over the years of like who can put as many hops in a dipper. You going even further back, you had like Mikella doing the 1,000 IBU beer, ramming loads of hops in to try and make it as bitter as they possibly could, which is pointless, no more than a marketing exercise, because your palate can't taste much beyond sort of 100, 150 IBUs. So kind of pointless because really good beers have balance. One of the best beers in the UK right now is Steady Rolling Man. And that has 8 grams per litre of dry hop. And that is not a lot. Trust me, that's not a lot. Like a dipper like this, not this particular one, but like the way Cloudwater were doing them, the Dipper 3, those kind of things back in the day, they were like 25 grams to 30 grams per litre. And Steady Rolling Man's 8. And that makes for a beautiful beer where the hops are properly expressed. So you don't have to go stupid with your ingredients to make a really good beer. Okay.
So I'll give you a bit of an update on bars while you process that double IPA. So
I'll catch up on my drinking then.
Yeah. So since the last chat on here, we just launched Brew and Bow in Chapel Allerton, and prior to that, we just launched this venue, the Old Grey Mare. So a few more opportunities fell on our doorstep, and I said to Lee and the rest of the board, I was like, I'd love us to be able to progress them, but there's just not enough time in the day. We can't keep opening bars unless we start looking at the resource there. So we brought in a project manager for these next few opportunities, and a guy called Paul Brown, who's helping us now. He's doing a great job. He's got a labourer who's pretty useless. He's sat in the audience. His name's Josh. Every time I turn up on site, he's sat down, but he eats a lot of pasta, and Paul tells me he does loads. So I believe him. But no, the guys have done a really good job. So Tony and my dad do a lot of our maintenance work, and they obviously do a lot of the stuff when we launch projects. But I think in particular, Paul and Josh have really helped get these projects underway. If you go to Carlton, you'll see all the weeding he did and all the painting. If you go up to Scarborough next week and see what's going on, he's been painting again in the garden. It's a theme here. You're always in the garden, Josh. It's like your tan's not enough. But no, it's been honestly, I can't even explain how much relief it's been for me, because I'm quite a hands-on person. Well, Lee is as well in the brewery. We just like to be hands-on people, and when you've got a project going on, it's hard to take a step back and let this happen and still do your day job. So it's really helped me do that more, and feel confident that the project's moving along. So we launched Carlton on time. We're about to launch, touch wood, next week. We're about to launch Brew and Bow at Chapel and Scarborough on time.
Well, you should probably say how well it started as well. Carlton, that is.
Yeah, well, the yeah. You're preempting me. I haven't got to that bit yet.
Oh, sorry.
So yeah, this part in particular has been working really well. We've got a few other projects coming up. So in addition to the ones I briefly mentioned, then we actually revamped and relaunched Brew and Bow at Knaresborough. So if you go to the Mitre, if you go downstairs, there used to be there is still a kitchen, but we refurbished it. We relaunched it as Brew and Bow, and it feels like a complete separate venue. So when you go
sorry, we were actually told that once upon a time it was a kind of separate venue.
And
it was like a nightclub, wasn't it?
So yeah, we had heard that, but it was effectively unutilized space for us. The occasional function was down there, and when we were doing food upstairs, a lot of the food vendors who came to do residencies for us only ever seemed to want to work on a Friday and Saturday, and we were very confident that Wednesday through to Sunday would work well, but we had to put our money where our mouth is. So we partnered up with Yuzu. We launched the Brew and Bow concept in Chapel Allerton, and we decided that we felt it would work really well in Knaresborough. So yeah, we launched that a few months back now, and it's been brilliant. I think we've pretty much tripled the food revenue there since any other food vendor who's been in. We've tripled the food revenue of what they were taking, which is really positive. The space looks great. There's a few more little bits and pieces to do, but really pleased how that's gone. Carlton, wow, that's an interesting space. So Lee was familiar with it, and he told me about it a long time ago, because I believe you and the family have been there quite a few times for different events over the years.
Yeah, well, if you don't mind, I'll give it a little bit of context. So my good wife sat at the back of the room there. Her family didn't grow up in Carlton, but ended up living in Carlton. So her sister ended up there. And then started a family. So then the mum and dad moved there so they could play kind of babysitters, I guess. And then her sister's husband had the bungalow next to that. So his husband's family had the bungalow. So there was 3 of them next to each other. So they basically had this whole street to themselves. So a big part of Polly's family was in Carlton. And through that, we got to meet Nigel and Christine, who first of all set up a brewery called Little Black Dog. And then in time created a bigger brewery in the grounds of Carlton Towers, and then created a tap room in the grounds of Carlton Towers. Unfortunately, for reasons probably out of their control, particularly COVID and the debt that was accrued through that period, they had to fold that business. But they did approach myself and Wayne and say, look, there's the makings of a really good business here. It'd be a shame if somebody didn't pick up where we've left off, and carry on. So that's what we've done.
Yeah, so about a week before, unfortunately, they went into administration, the offer came through, we replied, and then it just all happened really quickly. But we went down to have a look at the place, really saw what potential we could do with what they'd already built off, and then did some interesting pitches to the estate, the Carlton estate. If you've not been, it's a really nice country house, really fancy country house owned by
Lord Gerald and Lady Emma.
Yeah, with descendants of.
Well, I don't know about descendants of, but he is the cousin of the Lord of Norfolk, Duke of Norfolk. Sorry, thank you.
Amazing estate, really nice vineyard where they make some nice prosecco rosé. Really, just really impressed with what was going on there, and they wanted the tap room to be a little bit more akin to what they were offering in the estate. So we pitched to them, and they asked us what we could do to collaborate with them and work closer with them on things. And it was really interesting. The challenge was, obviously, if a business hasn't succeeded, we need to work out the ins and outs of why and whether we could do anything differently. And we felt fairly confident we could, because what the Nigel and Christine had already built was very good. And we just now that we've done this quite a while and we have quite a few venues, we have a really good team behind us and some good operating procedures that we can implement and roll out. So it makes certain aspects of it a bit easier for us to run than what
I always like the phrase evolution, not revolution. But we're tweaking things, and we see the potential of that site as huge. And the team at the Towers, I think, are of a like mind. They're going to have us in to revamp their bars within the Towers themselves. So you can expect some Brew York product in there. Hopefully dispensed a little bit more efficiently than they currently have it done. And then next to the tap room, there's this beautiful field encircled by trees. And the second we both saw it, we thought, this needs to have a festival. This needs to have camping. And we went to pitch that, and they were both thinking that you need to have camping there, you need to have glamping, whatever. Maybe you need to have electric charge points of like rolling up motorhomes, whatever it is. So we're both thinking the same way about the future prospects of it. And
we did a very early trial. We had a staff-only event a couple of Wednesdays ago where the Carlton estate brought their staff down. We took our staff up and we did a little trial of the venue. It worked really well. We had a great night. And then as an extra test for our staff, we opened on the Sunday when the ladies were in the European
and won
Euros final. And it was crazy. That was supposed to be a trial night. And the volume that the staff dealt with on that night was immense. So the baptism by fire, they did brilliantly. And then we opened the doors properly the Wednesday afterwards. That week was just crazy. I think on quite a few different nights, the Carlton Towers tap room took more than our city centre beer hall. It was just that busy. It was great. So that's hopefully the start of good things to come. There's more and more we need to do there. This is very early days. We focused a lot on the outside. We've got a lot to do on the inside, but it was just let's get things back open again. Let's take advantage of the hot weather and the nice people wanting to get back out.
Yeah, and I think when you were describing Old Grey Mare earlier, you talked about our ends of character concept. So we've worked with our branding company. We now have things that we think define our inns, and we have things that we think define our tap rooms. And in time, we need to bring that aesthetic to this venue. But now was not that time. If we change too much immediately, that's not going to be well received. So we have opted to make a few tweaks. Clean up a few things. Largely run it as was, and then next sort of January, when everybody has that lull in trade, we'll probably have another look at it again and make sure it's a little bit more aligned to the Brew York kind of brand guidelines.
And so we're excited about that project, and the latest one is Brew and Bow in Scarborough. So it's been interesting. We went to look at that. So myself and Sal went down in January this year to have a look at the site. It was a venue called Storm, and the lady who owns it is linked to the agent of the property we're in now, the Old Grey Mare. So they told us about it a long time ago, but there's so much going on. We'd only just about to open the Old Grey Mare. We had Brew and Bow in Chapel Alton about to open, and we just knew we couldn't give it the time and attention we'd need to launch as a Brew York venue. But once we got Brew and Bow open, we thought that it would be the perfect concept to roll out there. It's not too overtly York. It's on York Place in Scarborough, which is pretty ironic. But it's on York Place. We wanted to make sure that people who like craft beer, people like street food, wouldn't feel too, isolated, or they wouldn't feel that it's the wrong brewery for them to support. So which we felt happened to us a little bit in New Briggate when we had the venue there. So we wanted to try this concept out. We think what the guys have done so far and getting the place ready, it looks amazing. It's going to be really interesting to see how the seasons affect the venue, because it's obviously Scarborough being very, very tourist driven. But the place looks awesome. We've got
well, I mean, we're not experts about Scarborough by any means, but we are told that where this is, it's more of where the locals would use it. It's more like central. It's not the seasonal part of Scarborough per se. So we're hoping it's not going to be affected in that way. Although, by the same token, we hope we do get some of that tourism trade when it is.
Yeah, exactly. It's around the corner from the train station, so it's very, very short walk from Scarborough train station. Very, very short walk to Checkers, which is a really, really good cask beer and sports bar in Scarborough. We've got Craft Bar Scarborough around the corner as well. So there's three of
Scholars.
I said Checkers, didn't I? Yeah, Checkers isn't Scarborough, but yeah,
Checkers
I did mean
Scholars.
Beverley. Beverley. So yeah, I did mean Scholars. Apologies if anyone from Scholars is watching. But yeah, they are. Yeah, exactly. Stumble In is an independent pub nearby as well. So there's a lot of really good pubs nearby. North Riding Brew Pub is obviously awesome pub in Scarborough, but a lot further afield. I walked it when I went there the other week, and I was like, yeah, it's not really it is a walk, but it's a long walk. So if you go into the open air theatre, the open air theatre, that's the route you'll go down. But yeah, we're really excited about what's going on there. We're going to have guest apartments upstairs as well. So there's two bedrooms and two one-bedroom apartments. So they'll be they're already good standard, but they'll be listed on our website soon, so you can book there and go and stay. So all very exciting. Unfortunately, it's getting close to the end of summer, so it might be a little bit too late to go and stay. But go and stay in winter and support us then instead.
Did you mention dates? I don't know if you did.
So next Friday is the official launch, Friday the 15th. Anyone who lives in Scarborough or any friends or subscribers, you want to have a sneak preview on the 14th, then drop us a message. On our Facebook page. I was going to say pete@brewyork.co.uk, but it's actually Peter, isn't it? Peter@brewyork.co.uk is a good one.
Yeah, or just info@brewyork.co.uk.
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna do a little bit of a sneak preview on Thursday. What else? The rooms here. So the Old Grey Mare has 10 letting bedrooms upstairs. It's a busy place anyway, so we've been trying to get the works underway there. We got to first fix electrics, and then we had to stop for summer while we were doing these other projects, but that's started now, so the rooms will be available by the end of September. So very quick turnaround there. We'll have 10 bedrooms in York, so if you do want to come and visit any one of our venues, come and base yourself here, travel between the sites. It's going to be pretty exciting, especially when we do like our subscriber parties or our birthday.
I was going to say our birthday.
10th birthday coming up.
Imagine coming to our birthday next year and getting to stay here.
We'll do a package. You can have the rooms, the birthday festival ticket, and some food and drink included.
And rumour has it that we are going to do breakfast.
Yeah, breakfast. We're doing breakfast here. You can have a bao bun with bacon, hash brown, and an egg in it. I don't know about that, but I would eat it.
I mean, I would totally eat that.
We need to speak to you about how they'll do breakfast.
I mean, but bao buns are smaller. Need at least 2.
Yeah, definitely gonna have 2. It's like a double sausage and egg McMuffin. The one thing that's been a little bit disappointing, which is completely out of our control, is Goole Market Hall. So now that we've got the Carlton Towers taps open, it's on Goule's doorstep. So we were really excited about having a delivery route and building our presence in the area. But the main contract is delayed, unfortunately. So instead of launching in December like we planned, I don't think we'll get the keys handed to us till the end of December. So February 2026.
I think we told them November last time we saw it.
Yeah, November. Yeah. So we suspect that February 2026 will be the launch there now, which is obviously disappointing news, especially as we want 10 venues by the end of the year. So yeah, we're going to see what we can do there.
We'll have to do something else then, won't we?
Oh, sorry, because we actually technically do, as of next week, we do have 10 venues with Scarborough coming online. But one thing I haven't mentioned is we've actually sold a venue. So that completes this week as well. So we're actually leaving Guiseley. So we've sold our venue in Cooper's in Guiseley to our friends at Kirkstall Brewery. So we had a bit of interest in this place from a couple of breweries, and it doesn't really fit into our model. So we spent a lot of, we've obviously opened a lot of bars recently, but we're trying to rationalise and get consistency and coherence across them all. So Lee mentioned it earlier, we have our tap rooms. So like the main original beer hall and tap room, we have Handley tap room, and then now we have Carlton tap room. So we're going to have a consistent look and feel in all our tap rooms. We then have our inns with character. So this is where we are now. So we're at the I was about to say the Mitre. We're not at the Mitre. We're at the Old Grey Mare. But the Mitre is another inn with character. We just need to roll the concept out there. And then the other one is the Horse and Farrier. And then we have our Brew Plus model. So like the Brew and Bow in Scarborough and in Chapel Allerton. The reason I got lost a little bit there, because I'm just looking at our customers sat in front of me from the market tap. And it doesn't quite fit into those categories. But we do have a couple of plans for options for the plans.
We have a plan, but we want to talk to you all about it.
Yeah. And where we had Coopers and Guiseley, it didn't really fit into any of those categories. We didn't have a general manager when we got approached by this venue. And we were really, really struggling with finding a food vendor and finding a way to keep the function room utilised upstairs. It was really, really frustrating because on paper it looks like an amazing venue, but unfortunately we couldn't seem to get music acts upstairs. We couldn't seem to get any regular use of this amazing function room. The best ever night we had there was when we got Chris Kamara down to do the Euros. And since then, we didn't really get any engagement with it. And unfortunately, the food vendor options we had there just didn't seem to work.
Yeah, I think if we're honest, we set off on the wrong foot, and it's very hard to kind of turn the ship around when you've set off on a particular direction. And we were given some advice, which is if something's not working for you, it can become a significant distraction and turn your attention away from the things that are working for you. And really, if you want your business to do well, you should be focused on the things that are doing well, not the things that are not doing well. So we decided that someone else needs to be given a go with that venue, and Kirkstall have some goddamn good pubs.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they will do a cracking job where, regrettably, we did not succeed.
Yeah, it's one of those things where we can look at all the things that didn't work, and I've shared all those with Kirkstall. In my opinion, what I genuinely don't think we got wrong. Or we can try and reinvent the wheel, and we can spend a lot of time and energy on this, or we can just accept that it wasn't for us and let them have a go at it. And I think they will do a really good job, and I think we'll do a really good job of the next project that we're working on. So lots of lessons learned. We don't get it right all the time. In fact, there's quite a few different things we've got wrong over the years, but one thing we are doing is learning from that and trying to make sure we don't keep repeating the mistakes. And someone mentioned it earlier. It was one of the starred comments I was looking at, and it was about booking the trend. Yeah, it's from Adam Davison. It's great to see all the bars open. You seem to be going against the trend for opening bars rather than closing them. We are on a whole, but we are still closing bars as well, because unfortunately it's not working everywhere for us. It's on the whole, 90% of it is working for us, but we do still have the same challenges as everyone else. And Staff costs are through the roof because of the changes in minimum wage and national insurance. So there's a lot of pressure on us delivering successful venues. Otherwise, we can't pay all the wages. So we have to make sure that the footfall is good. We've got the right offering, and we're actually meeting the demands for what you guys want. So without you guys coming into our bars, we can't succeed. So you guys make our job easier by supporting us, which we really appreciate.
It's no secret that there is lower overall demand for pubs. Pubs are closing at the rate of, I think the stats something like 1 a week. So yeah, okay, less people are drinking in pubs, but if you make the right type of pub and you have the right kind of offering and the right kind of engagement with your community, then you will still succeed. And as we've seen with this venue here, if you get it right, it can be incredibly successful. This place has blown our mind, the Old Grey Mare. We were told it will do well. You will be the heart of the community. People will support you. It's just that the last people didn't do that great a job with it. And we're like, well, yeah, okay, that probably could be true. And then we opened those doors. And people have been battering those doors down ever since. We cannot believe the success that this place has been.
Huge chunk of that, though, is Avril and the team here. They're amazing.
Absolutely.
So they do a great job of making everyone feel welcome and listening to what the community want and reacting to it. And whenever I come in, I'm always so pleased to see how happy the staff are. They're always really fun and engaged. And that makes such a difference. As a consumer, you come in, the staff are happy, you know you want to keep coming back. And that type of environment's brilliant. So the more of that we can do, the more we can replicate, the more we will do.
It's an underplayed skill. I was having this conversation with Polly, my wife, the other day. It's like AI, it's going to take over the world. The one thing it will never, ever be able to do is that human interaction, that customer service element. You'll never get that. You'll never have AI across a bar listening to you about how your week's been while you're having a beer. That will never happen. So whilst we still have these things, we need to use them, respect them, and then, yeah, anyway, yeah, we need to get down off this goddamn soapbox.
I do remember coming in here well over a year ago now. It was probably more like 18 months ago. Me and Sal were walked by the river, cut in, came in for a pint to check it out, and I was just so surprised why a hub of the community was as dead as it was. And then I realised why it was as dead as it was when, yeah, I won't go into too many details, but there was just things that made you realise that.
I think for legal and libel reasons, it's important that we don't go into those details. But let's just say we've heard some horror stories about how things might have been, and we're happy that we've changed them.
Yeah, and I'm really pleased with how the team have reacted, how they, like I say, engage with the community, and it's a huge credit to them for helping make this place a success, and then for making us want to do more and more in York, because we were scared to do more in York because we've already got a very good venue that's going to get some more work this year in the city centre if we ever get our water upgraded, and we didn't want to do too much to detract from that, but this has proved that it isn't a detraction. This place is genuinely has impacted on sales in the city centre, in that they've dipped a little bit because people can stay out in Clifton now and enjoy the food and drink here. But what happens is the tourists in the city centre backfill the locals. So we are still getting good footfall, and there is more still to go in York. And we'd love another venue. I wish there was one going somewhere in York, but we'll keep our eyes out. And if we find somewhere, we'll hopefully.
Right, off camera, my wife Polly has just said, "Have you two swapped roles?" Usually, it's me that can't hold my bloody tongue.
Hopefully, we'll find somewhere that you guys will like to frequent, and it won't detract from our other offerings. Watch this space.
We've got one more beer to go, and it's like near enough 11%. You'll probably tell them before the end of this.
Can I request it? Can I have a chaser pint or something sessionable?
And can I have one as well?
Taxi sessionable, isn't it?
Yeah,
I do want a taxi.
Yeah, we'll have 2 taxis.
2 taxis, please. 2 taxis home. Boom, boom.
And the taxi.
Have we only got one can between?
So a couple of quick
Yours is being
Oh yeah, it's up there.
No, mine's not.
Right.
Okay.
I've got 3 cans.
Oh bloody hell! So there was a couple of good questions I saw earlier. These were comments from earlier. Do you have a wish list? Well, am I reading it out? It can go on screen. Do you have a wish list of breweries you'd like to do collabs with, and who's on it?
Oh, right. Okay. I'm kind of glad you've asked that, but at the same time, I kind of don't want to answer it because next year's our 10th birthday. And because it's our 10th birthday, there's some big names I'm going to be reaching out to, and either they'll tell me to piss off or they'll work with us. So
I think Black Sheep want to work with us. What do you reckon?
Black Sheep are not on the list. That's for sure. Right. Okay. Let's set myself up for a fall then, shall we? I'm going to reach out to Omnipolar and I'm going to ask if they'll work with us for our 10th birthday. We have common friends. I know lots of people. I know lots of routes to get in there. So let's see if that pays off.
Is that the top of your list?
No, the absolute top of my list would be an American sour beer producing brewery called Mortalis. That would be my absolute top of the list. Well, as it happens, we're going to Great Notion Brewery while we're in Portland. They know Mortalis, so I'm going to ask for the contact of Mortalis while we're at Great Notion.
We'll try.
So I'll try and work that one out.
We'll try find a way.
But yeah, there's always people we're still looking to work with. If we go big stouts, I'd like to work with Dugas. Back in the day, I'd have said Demolen. I don't know if that's like an okay thing now that by someone else.
That is the challenge because a lot of the breweries that inspired us to do what we do and the beers and that we really like have been bought out because the breweries have unfortunately had to sell for one reason or the other. So it'd be controversial to say, I really want to do a collab with Goose Island. I really do. It'd be amazing to learn from what they've done to make their barrel-aged beer so good. But I don't think a lot of people, the public community, would appreciate that because they saw that a long time ago. And then, is there anyone in the UK?
Anyone in the UK that we've not worked with that we would like to work with?
I can think of two.
Go for them.
Taylor and Verdon. So I've been around just as long as we have, a little bit longer, but we just don't really have the relationship with those guys. Not in a negative way, but we're just not in the same circles. I think we've met a few of them over the years, and I'm sure that if we had the conversation, we probably could do something.
But more often than not, collabs are between like-minded breweries. And okay, we make some hazies. We've just had one delivered to us here. But that's not the main thing about us. So it's not that we don't fit well with them. It's just, there's, I don't know. Am I right in saying there's not a huge amount of common ground there? So you don't tend to find yourself talking to these people at festivals and stuff. Whereas, like, when we met Josh from Hidden Springs, he was pouring at a fest at Hidden Springs out of Tampa Bay. He was pouring at a festival in Finland, and he made Daft Stouts and Daft Sours. I was like, well, we're going to get on with him then, aren't we? Quite obviously.
There's Gatorade there. But I think that's another reason why a collaboration worked really well. So because we don't do this necessarily the same beers, there's a lot we can both learn of each other. But when you're both breweries are at least 10 years old, there's a little bit of, I don't think I need to learn off you anymore, which is wrong because
I'm giving you a very rare victory.
It's wrong because
I don't know how I'm getting out of it.
There's always more we can learn.
This doesn't I know.
Give him 3 months and eventually catch up.
Oh, almost to the naked gun.
You made me realise how uncomfortable this seat really is. And then the other brewery, which again wouldn't necessarily get many thumbs up anymore, is Brew Dog. So Brew Dog was a massive influence on both myself and Lee in getting into brewing. Now they've obviously not got a very good reputation for a lot of things that the owner in particular was pulled up on. So not particularly a brewery that we'd jump at the opportunity to do a collaboration with, unless, which what we have done in the past, it's the where you work with the bars. So the Brewdog Collab Fest we've done quite a few times because you're working directly with the bar team, which is always a good way to try and learn what because they obviously know a lot. They get very, very good training, so it's a good way to see what's going on in their side of the world. So they've closed 10 of them down, 10 venues recently. They've closed the one near where we used to be in New Brigham, which I can see it was a very interesting part of of Leeds, in that once you got to, as far as where we were and any further up, because of the roads, people didn't cross them. They didn't cross the road. They stayed the other side, which is obvious now with hindsight. But at the time, it was exciting to see a really good venue opportunity in the centre of Leeds.
Is that the right word?
Yeah. So I always remember quite a few comments from different people who've worked for us over the years who've said that when are they going to finish it, when they're talking about the interior design, and that was the look and feel they were going for, which worked 10 years ago, doesn't necessarily work anymore. So but that was their choice, and sometimes we appreciate this. They have a lot of bars in their estate. It's hard to find the time to go back and invest in the older bars until it becomes a bit chicken and egg. You need the bars to be making money to justify reinvesting in them, but if you don't reinvest in them, they won't make the money. So I can definitely see why some of the venues got a little bit left behind. But sorry, have we ever thought about taking it on? No.
All right, what did I miss?
We're just talking a little bit about Brew York.
Yeah, I kind of figured.
But no, who knows? If people would want us to be there, then they'd have to let us know, and we'll see what we can do. But yeah, we've got a few different opportunities at the moment, so we need to work out what's going to be best fit for us. Here's one I thought you might like, and your dad would have definitely loved it.
Is there an Aussie tribute beer in the works? Yeah, I mean, I imagine so many people would jump on that bandwagon. I mean, or should I say, would jump on that crazy train?
Crazy grain is. We already had the name suggestions.
Oh, crazy grain! Someone suggested already. Brilliant. Yeah, I mean, what an amazing guy, and how the hell did he live to that age? I mean, that is the most stunning thing. The guy must have been totally pickled. That's the only way. But yeah, amazing. And could you have written it better? That he got to do that kind of final show, and then within a few weeks, that's it. Sonara.
I can't help but be a little bit sceptical about that, but it's a bit too soon, isn't it?
Well, I mean, what you're saying, Sharon bumped him off after to boost DVD sales.
I don't know. There were a few stories going around, but.
Whichever, incredible. And Ant, which many of you will know, our Viking digital design guy, was a roadie at that event.
Was he?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Ant, who I must say I used to like, was a roadie at that. He was backstage. And he was giving me some insight into it. So
he was wheeling Aussie on.
Now, the reason they were able to accommodate that many different guest artists was it was a revolving stage. So it was 2 stages either side. So whilst that one was on stage, they were dressing this side. So then as soon as that band went off, that flipped. And then they had to take all the equipment off that one and then dress that one. So he said he's never worked so hard. But I mean, what work though? He said he was walking like backstage and it was like, there's Phil Anselmo from like Pantera, and then just all these. He was like, wow. And he actually said he got a little bit blasé about it in the end because there were just so many of them. But anyway.
Speaking of celebrities, have we got anyone coming to see us next week?
Is
that a spoiler? Are we allowed to say?
Maybe Jimmy's coming next week.
Yes. So, anyone heard of Jimmy's Farm?
Yay!
Jimmy, as in friend of Jamie Oliver, Jimmy.
Yeah.
So Jimmy works with a beer distribution company that we work with, and we've already kind of been working with them. We've been producing this beer that raises money for turtles, and then you, whilst at London, got to meet him and do a bit of a tasting thing.
Yeah, that was the highlight of my trip to London. When I arrived, it was boiling hot, and we still didn't have the new beer van ready. So I jumped on and we were helping Waters get it all set up behind the scenes. Absolutely drenched. It was boiling. So I was like, I'm going to have to change my shirt. put another shirt on. I was just still sweating, and then it's like, "Oh, can you just jump on camera and do a tasting with me?" I was like, "Really?" I like stood there doing a tasting, and sweat's dripping down my nose. I'm like, "Oh my god!" And it was really funny actually.
And then someone just stepped in front of you on camera and went, "Hi, Wayne, not seen you in a while."
So just completely, yeah, it was really good actually. But yeah, they took it well. But yeah, that's pretty exciting. So we're going to do a charity beer to raise money for relocating bears. Not Bear Grylls, but but yeah, or is it? Yeah, who knows? So yeah, Jimmy's coming down to see us. And the other thing I talked to him about when he was at London was jumping on a YouTube session with us. So he seemed interested.
Okay.
I think he has a few more followers than we do, so it might be on their terms, but it'll be quite good anyway.
Fair enough. So yeah, they're with us next Tuesday morning.
Yeah.
We'll be filming some stuff in the brewery, which will be about brewing the beer that you elected to brew, I think, down in London.
Well, they absolutely loved Coney, so I've got a feeling it'll be a hazy pale.
Seems likely.
Yeah. Well, it's also a great style. If you want to sell volume to raise money for charity, then you might as well sell a style that sells well.
Bears in general or polar bears?
It's brown bears, I believe. I'll need to double check that. Yeah. So there's so much I could talk about bars, but unfortunately we don't have enough time for that because we're already 12 minutes late in starting to drink this beer that we poured 12 minutes ago. It's warming up though now. It's definitely warming up. Okay, be quiet in the corner, you.
The temperature's pretty good actually. And this is you once again.
Oh, so yeah, we might as well carry on where I left off. So barrel aged Empress Tonkoko s'more edition. Please, sir, can I have some s'more? Awful, sorry. 10.6% s'more version of our flagship barrel aged stout. So if you remember in January, we brought out espresso Empress Tonkoko. So we decided this year we wanted to do more than just barrel aged versions, which we will continue to do. We wanted to do something with a nice bit of a twist to make it a little bit more appealing, add a new dimension, a bit of fun. So we wanted to do some more of the different flavour variants that have been working so well for the other versions of Tonkoko. So chocolate, marshmallow, in addition to the Tonka, coconut, vanilla, and what have I forgotten there? Cacao edition. So we figured it'd make a really, really nice 10.6% barrel aged stout. It's still gone through the same processes of the other beers. It's been barrel aged. This one's been barrel aged in Buffalo Trace, Heaven Hill, and Jim Beam. Yeah. But yeah, with that, actually, we were very, very scared initially when we first started doing barrel aged Empress Tonkoko to bastardize them, I guess some might say. But we brew such a good volume of it now. We have enough beer that's pure in the wood, to be able to experiment.
And I think if we're honest, the inspiration is probably what Simon do with the Calvin chocolate cake. They've evolved that in so many different directions that we thought, well, yeah, maybe we could do a little bit more just than the kind of barrel character to it. So you've said the espresso was the first one. This is the second with the marshmallow and chocolate, and I don't know. I kind of yo-yo where what I think about this. I kind of really like the original expressions of barrel, and I do really like that. But at the same time, I'm thinking, well, but I can't perceive some of the original flavors because of the marshmallow. So I probably shouldn't be saying this as the guy that's selling this to you, but I am nothing if always honest, and I feel like it's a great beer. I love it. I really love the flavour, but has it muted some of the other flavours?
And this is some of the things we find really interesting when we do stuff like this. We probably don't appreciate it as much as people at home will appreciate it, because if you look at some of the highest rated beers on Untapped and tools like that, they usually are adulterated in a few ways. Take the Dick series by Amundsen, the Dessert in a Can series. So they are amazing beers. They rate really, really highly, and pretty much all of them have some form of flavour or variant in them, which doesn't detract from the fact that they're great beers.
Almost all of them.
They all do, yeah. But when we met their brewers and when we brewed with them in the past, they absolutely love the unadulterated version. The base stout is their pride and joy, and they don't like to add the flavours to it because they feel like it detracts from what they've done as a brewer. And that's the same thing. We made an amazing beer as a brewery, and the brewers have made an amazing beer and barrel aged it, and then we're adding something to it that takes away from some of that flavour. But it does take away, but it also adds to it. And I think it's really, really, really nice beer. And I think a lot of people, the majority of the public, wouldn't realise what's changed and would really like it for what it is.
And I'm certainly not saying I dislike it. It's just I know what it tasted like before that stuff went in. So, but yeah.
And there's always
after the course of it, some people will love it one way, some people will love it another. We don't design a beer to an individual. We design a variety of beers. We have a broad waterfront brewery in the hope that if you don't like that one, you might like that one. You don't like that one, you might like that one. And we hope over the course of time that you like a few more than one. But there you go.
Yeah, I really like it. I've got such a sweet tooth. Well, you have a sweet tooth as well, but usually for Haribo. I'm more a chocolate guy, and sickly sweet marshmallow and chocolate's right up my street. So yeah, that's really good. Cool.
Right. And while we are kind of in spoiler mode, which it seems you are definitely in, we thought we'd let you know what we're going to do for next year's Empress. So the Empress that you will be able to get from January next year, we have acquired some beautiful dark rum barrels because, in my opinion, the best iteration we have done yet for pure barrel representation is rum. Because, as I've said before, who knew rum and coconut go really well together? So we've got some beautiful rum barrels. We've got some nice rum barrels, bourbon barrels coming in again. And the one that I'm particularly intrigued to see what it's going to be like, and that I think you guys are going to love, and I've been trying to get these barrels for a very, very long time, is orange brandy. Fucking hell, Joanna. Joanna, I was going to say off camera, you might not have heard her, but you definitely did hear her. So Joanna has been appealing with us for quite some time to do a chocolate orange beer. Well, this is about as near as you're ever going to get.
You're on screen as well, Joanna.
Trying to introduce orange character into a beer is really, really tricky. We did, what's that chocolate orange beer?
Chocolate orange.
Chocolate orange. So we did that beer a while ago, and that had a difficult upbringing, shall we say. It was very hard to get that to the point where it represented a chocolate orange. So we decided the easiest way to introduce orange character into a beer is to get an orange brandy barrel. So you know something of the like of a triple sec, a Grand Marnier, that kind of thing. So we're going to be popping some of the Empress Tom Coco into the equivalent of Grand Marnier. It's not Grand Marnier. We won't be allowed to use that name, but it's that kind of thing.
Call it GM Empress.
Do you want to get the first drink?
Genetically modified Empress.
Could we stop you?
Yeah, it's pretty exciting, and hopefully we will launch them all in January, but we might not. So when Lee said all those will get in January, maybe we'll defer a few of them. We'll see.
We have a question in the room, Mike. If you want, if you want waiting for a microphone to get to you,
Mike.
I've asked this question before at a tasting, probably a year or more back, but sherry barrels. I know you said that they're very, very expensive. Is there no way you will get the chance to do a Tom Coco through a sherry barrel?
I would love to, but I could buy like maybe 6 bourbon barrels for the price of 1 sherry barrel. So I think, as I probably explained before, like sherry is cellared, where they like take a bit out, they put a beer and take a bit out too. So these barrels remain in use for years and years and years. So sherry barrels don't get retired very often, and when they do get retired,
That's the best.
No, the whiskey industry buys them because the best whiskies, in my personal opinion, will be aged in sherry barrels. And if I got to drink port or sherry, I'm a port man. I love port. And I've had whiskies aged in port, and they're okay. And then I've had whiskies aged in sherry, and they're the daddy. Whiskey's Asian sherry are the absolute.
But
I was going to say
it's on
something
your
I shouldn't
bucket
then,
list.
but
It's on your bucket list.
You haven't dropped an F-bomb. Is
Oh,
that
I
because
didn't
your
know
mum's
I
in
did
the
it.
audience?
No, I've actually dropped a couple. You've not been listening
right.
properly. So, yeah, sherry.
One day.
Sherry is the best marriage with whiskey. So they get kind of first dibs.
Barrel-aged trifle beer.
But it must be good with Tom Coco. And you
I'm
never
sure.
know until you do it.
Well, that is true. You don't know until you try. And yeah, I mean, never say never and all that. And if somebody wants to offer me one at a very compelling price, we'll do it. But as things stand, it's too much goddamn money. And if I then translated into that your per can cost, we won't sell it.
I've got an idea. What we could do is we could crowdfund it. So we could just put it out there for everyone to crowdfund the sherry barrels that age in, and then everyone who's crowdfunded it gets some of the cans in return for their crowdfunding, and then we sell the rest. So
I suggested it. I want a percentage.
For a sherry barrel.
Sherry barrels are going to be about £1,500–1,600, and I can get a bourbon one for about £200.
Get one for about £200.
So let's jump on to the next bits, and then we'll come back to a few questions if any more good ones come up. Take the mic away before they swear on that camera.
Well, we've had Daniel Sawyer there say, "What about Madeira barrels?"
They're a bit dear. Oh, sorry, that's so bad.
Jesus, king of the dad jokes today.
No. I'm getting good at them.
So yeah, Madeira kind of could work. It's a little bit different. It's a little bit sweeter. We would be able to get access to them, but it wouldn't be quite the same.
Give them
We've used like muscadet kind of barrels before, like dessert wines, but they're more suited to, sponta sour type things. Like, don't really suit the kind of thing we're making.
Right, let's come back to questions in a bit. Let's talk about what beers are coming up.
Are we at that point already?
Yeah, well, good time. 7 minutes to go.
So, given we only do this every 3 months, rather than giving you a list of what's going to be out next month, we're giving you some highlights going forward for the next 2-3 months. So the next thing in the Nine Realms series is the one that's been brewed with Salama from Finland, and that's a Mountain IPA. Mountain IPA, if you don't know, is so called because you have East Coast, you have West Coast, and those things that kind of tried to create the medium ground of the two styles is called the Mountain IPA. We also have...
we've done a collaboration. So it's our 10th birthday next year, if we haven't mentioned that already. It's also our friend in Valhalla's, it's their 10th birthday, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So are we launching this in advance of their 10th birthday?
No, so I think they want it for September.
Right, so yeah, but our friends at Valhalla have asked us to do a collaboration with them, and they helped on the recipe. We've done something pretty cool, and it's an Imperial Campfire Porter.
I actually think it might be for their 9th birthday.
Oh, it's for their 9th. All right. And what's the name of it?
It's called Nightcap of the Dead.
But yeah, really cool beer. And again, it was brewed at Warmgate, so the guys came down and brewed it down there. And you tasted it the other day. Really impressed.
I mean, it's kind of a little bit reminiscent. So our interpretation of the Imperial Campfire Porter is marshmallows, smoke, big beer. That's what it is. So it's 12% with kind of flavors a little bit like this. And yeah, it's nice.
And for Halloween this year, we've got a video game, horror video game theme coming on, haven't we?
Yeah, so we've got 3 beers. We're going to have to try on that. One that honors, so they're all kind of arcade influence. One that honors
Doom.
The Last of Us. One that's Doom. And what?
Resident Evil.
Resident Evil, thank you.
So yeah, pretty cool different beers. We're going to do a cask version this year for the first time. We will do can and keg of that same beer, but last year at Halloween, we went around a lot of different venues that are celebrating Halloween, and they're all pretty much tied apart from cask. So if you want to sell more of your Halloween beer, we need to get a cask beer next year. So that's going to be a pumpkin spice latte. So we've done one before. We've done a few before with who used to be S43, our friends there, but unfortunately they stopped trading a while back. So pumpkin spice latte.
And it's the kind of thing that you'll prejudge. You'll be like, pumpkin. Yeah, I don't want to drink that. But
what's the face you'll pull?
Well, we'll do it again. No, but I get it. I was the same.
Yeah.
Until you actually drink it, you don't appreciate it. And what changed my opinion was, here we go, Texas again. We have a friend over there called Travis, and he comes over once a year, and he brings beers into the UK that he knows don't get imported here. And he, like many Americans, has an obsession with pumpkin beers. And he brought all these various ones in, including one called the Pumpkinator, which I thought was pretty cool. So every year we end up drinking all these different pumpkin beers, and I actually think that the flavour of the pumpkin, this kind of savoury aspect of it, lends itself really well to a stout. And I'm not saying it's going to be a huge seller, but I think if you just give it the time of day, try it, I think you'll like it a little bit more than you expect to. And yeah, it will be good.
I think a really good style. I think it's a bit underrated. So the other beer, the sour in the collection,
is a cherry and rhubarb pie sour.
So we obviously love our cherry beers, but we also love our rhubarb beers. So a bit of rhubarb and cherry. Can we get some crumble flavour in there? I think
the way we've described it is, if you imagine Kurt Russell and you imagine rhubarb and Streisand, and you do that with them, that's what this beer's going to be.
And then we've got the New England IPA as well, because obviously we need a volume beer. New England IPA everyone loves. So when we're trying to tell people to buy a Halloween beer and they're scared about not being able to sell a pumpkin spice latte, then we know they can sell a New England IPA. So if you want to get involved, it might be a green New England IPA, but it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, wasn't my decision, this one. I designed a kiwi and guava thing that was going to be green. But anyway.
And then, obviously, it's this time of the year again. It's time for us to be brewing our Christmas beers. It's not long, is it? It's not that long to go.
I know, well, I mean, the supermarkets, etc., are way ahead of us on this one. It still seems a little bit weird to be talking about Christmas in August, but that's how far ahead we have to act. So within a few weeks, we will be brewing our Christmas beers, because we have to get them into distribution, we have to get them to export channels. So we are going to, for this year's Fairy Tale, be brewing.
Fairy Tale, do you remember that 4.9% stout that we brew every year, but a different flavour variant? This year is going to be a walnut whip, not trademarked. A not walnut, because we won't be using real walnuts, but it's a whip.
Can we not call it a walnut whip? We would have called it a walnut swirl.
I don't even think they use walnuts in the real thing anymore. But yeah, we're definitely not going to use any nuts.
No. We looked into that, and we thought they didn't put walnuts into it. It turns out they do a version of the walnut whip without the walnut.
It's just called a whip.
What is the fucking point?
There we go. See, I missed your early F-bombs. I got that one. Listen, man. Yeah, well, yeah, but let's not go into the whip puns. Let's move on to the sour. What sour are we doing this year? Dreams of Brew York.
We're doing a berry pavlova pastry sour. Yeah.
And then anyone in the audience remember what Nightmare will be? Because if you remember, Nightmare is last year's Fairy Tale. Oh, let down by the audience. Joanna, what is it going to be?
As if you don't know, Joanna.
I do know about
It's not going to be
Florentine. So we bring back the flavours of the Florentine, but this time elevated to 8.5%.
eggs Florentine in a stout. Spinach and egg. No.
That's like your third dad joke of the night.
Oh, getting good at them. Yeah, eggs and spinach. Popeye's favourite breakfast. So obviously loads more beers coming out. One that we were hoping to do a sneaky fifth beer on tonight, but unfortunately we couldn't get it packaged in time.
Okay.
Katy Berry, one of our firm favourites. Yeah, blueberry pastry sour. It's just a cracking beer, and we haven't been sued by the lady yet, so we keep using it. But what events?
Well, I hear she's not doing so well these days, so maybe she'll need to start drawing on different incomes.
Possibly.
Maybe we'll get sued eventually.
Speaking of returns, there's a really cool beer coming back in very, very small quantities. So subscribers will get it, and a few of you who get it in time will. The Lemons Give You Life. When Lemons Give You Life, very, very small batch brewed at Warmgate is coming back. released in a couple of weeks. Or next week, is it? Next week? I can't remember.
That is next week. Yeah.
So it's When Lemons Give You Life, which is like a lemon curd.
Lemon meringue salad.
Yeah. Wu-Tang Clan, that's we haven't done one in a while.
Well, let's do a straw poll. So Wu-Tang Clan was a hazy pale that we had lactose in, hence the Mu element of Wu-Tang Clan. Who would be interested in seeing that return?
Everybody.
Fucking everyone. Brilliant.
What did we used to call that style?
Sorry, Mum.
I know. What's that style called?
It's called
milkshake
milkshake.
pale.
Yeah.
So the return of the milkshake pale.
I think the brewery in the UK that really nailed the style was Track. Track did these things that did they call it the gold tops or something?
Right, yeah.
Where they did these different like hoppy pills dippers with lactose in. It's meant to be like that.
We're 1 minute over. Come on. Let's get them to the events. And let's get a few questions in before we finish.
Right. Events. Okay, I'll go first.
This weekend?
This weekend, you will find our team at Hookstone Hooling, which is Harrogate's beer festival held in their tap room. And that runs from today until Sunday.
Next Friday, you'll find Brew and Bow Scarborough launching. So a few of us will be there. If you want to come down to the sneak preview, that's the Thursday. We'll both be at the Thursday one, as well as a few of the staff. I'll be around on Friday afternoon, but you probably don't want to see us. You probably come around Friday evening. And then also same weekend.
So well, you might as well do
well,
that.
Might as well.
Your turn.
It's Northallerton Craft Beer Festival. So I went to school and college in Northallerton. So I'm going to that on Saturday, the 17th, but the event's actually 16th and 17th. It's run by or organised by Bayonet Brewing, an amazing brewery from Northallerton. Really, really small scale, but do some really, really good pale beer, double IPAs.
And I'm assuming we will find not only you, but your whole family.
Your whole family are going to be there, yeah. And there's some really good breweries there. Vox Brewery, Siren, obviously Bayonet. I won't be able to name all the others. It's an all-inclusive beer festival, but there's only Friday tickets left. And if you do go, you also get cider and Prosecco. So, all-inclusive cider and Prosecco festival. But I was like, why did I get an invite?
I mean, just out of interest, how much?
50 quid a ticket.
For how many hours?
5 hours.
Well,
10 quid an hour.
Oh, they wouldn't make money off me. Right. And then Christy, our marketing manager or internal event marketing manager, has asked me to promote on the 21st of August. We have a movie night at our Handley Tap Room in Oswaldwick.
Do you know what movie it is?
I don't know.
Goonies.
Fucking awesome.
Yeah. It's Goonies. Yeah. And there's definitely going to be some HYG
Hey,
for
guys.
So we might have some soft serve HYG as well as other things pouring. That's going to be a good one.
So that's the Thursday night, and apparently you are able to order in your favourite takeaway.
Yeah, we don't have food organised for that night, so you can bring food in. 22nd is Hyde Family Jam. So if you haven't heard of Hyde Family Jam, Google them. They're really, really good York-based band. If you like bands like Mumford & Sons, it's that style of music. Really, really good. They're doing an album launch on the 22nd of August. Ticket sales have been really good so far, but we've obviously got huge capacity at Hamley, so we can squeeze you all in. And if any of our brewers are watching, then we've got staff discount for the Friday if you want to hang around. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be. I think I'm going to go to that and then go on holiday for the week afterwards. So that could be a good one.
And then one of our favourite events of the year is when we get to do Leeds International Beer Festival, which I'm assuming is still at Kirksall Abbey.
Yeah, it's Kirksall Abbey again this year. We've really annoying because we've just got the new event truck. Brewdog did Truck Norris. We've got to come up with a better name than that for our event.
That was good, though.
It's actually a van. Oh. So John Claude Van, some sort of like no, but there's no beer in it. So that's not the greatest pun. But yeah, we don't think we can take the van because it's a historic abbey. There's no way the van can get in anywhere. So I think we'll probably be on the traditional setup, but we're talking to Siren about doing something really cool with them in one of the areas. We'll have a DJ, some food, and both of our breweries there.
Wasn't it going to be us, Siren, and someone else? It was the third.
No, I think it's just us.
Yeah,
just us. So yeah, 4th to 7th of September. 4th to the 7th of September. So yeah, that's going to be a good one. And then yeah, we disappear off to there's York Beer Festival.
Well, I was going to mention that. I can't remember the exact dates, but I think it's around about the 20th.
No, it's earlier than that.
Is it?
So 20th is the Saturday. So that sorry, it is till the 20th. It's 19 days. So Wednesday, it's the 17th to 20th.
17th to 20th ish. Don't date checkers on that. We're probably wrong. It's going to be York Camera Beer Festival. It will be held in St Lawrence's Church on Lawrence Street, so just outside of Wongate Bar.
Directly next to Rook and Gaskell.
York Camera's been huge supporters to us, and particularly a massive supporter to me of my charity beer festival. So it'd be good to see as many of you down there as possible.
Yes, and then lots and lots of other things going on that we've probably forgotten about. We've probably got other bar launches we aren't aware of at the moment. But yeah, there's all sorts going on, and we'll try and keep you all posted. We're going to do another tasting.
Well, I put some speculative. Jesus.
Speculative.
So 3 months from now would mean early November. So I've said it might be Friday the 7th.
Maybe a Halloween tasting. Fancy dress tasting.
Well,
see, everyone said yeah, so that's a good idea.
But we're sending the Halloween beers out next month. So you'd have to sit on them for a while.
To warm up.
So all I'm saying right now is we think early November for the next video one. We're hoping to probably do something extra for Christmas. And given we're going to be in the US, if we are sober enough to remember to, we will look to do a little bit of content throughout there.
Do some live streams. And we'll Brew York are streaming. It's 9 a.m. and we're.
Have you seen the look on them?
Yeah, evil twin.
I'm sorry. I retract the "if we're sober enough" comment.
They'll be good though. So that's it. We could do a couple more questions if we've got any.
I mean, I'd love to do a few questions if we have them. Okay, you'll have fun for questions. Where are you going?
See, I beat everyone tonight.
I have a question over here. Can we get a microphone to this gent, please?
Hi there. You mentioned the camera, and I read that the winner this year was a Cornish mild.
Oh, GBVF.
I'm not really into milds, but like, are you considering something to try and take them on?
Micklegate mild.
So we have done a few miles over the years. You kind of do your brewing in your own kind of personal taste, I guess. So I don't really like milds. I don't really like ruby milds, but I really love dark milds. So we've done a few dark milds, and we'll probably do a few more dark milds. But I'm assuming that one sounds like it was a standard mild or a ruby. I don't know.
I don't know. But the this year, our good friend Andy from Elusive Brewing got shortlisted for Champion Beer of Britain with Oregon Trail, which, in my opinion, was one of the best cask beers in the country. It's an amazing West Coast, obviously. Really, really good beer. So congrats to Andy for being shortlisted for that. And gutted he didn't win, because in my opinion that is the type of beer that I'd want to drink all the time. If I ever see it on cask, I'll buy it. That's the type of beer we'd definitely brew. But yeah, appreciate that style doesn't sell as well as milds and
I don't think he really does it on cask. I know he has. He must have done it especially on cask for that.
It is. We've had it in Brew Bar quite often, quite frequently over the last few months.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
It's a great beer. But yeah, the voting and everything from GBBF is so mainstream and broad. It covers everything. So last year it was quite a interesting.
Not last year, the year before.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, I will say it because I don't think you're going to. I'm sure Green King being a sponsor had nothing to do with one of their beers coming second in the Champion Beer of Britain Awards.
It is an interesting one. But yeah, there's certain styles that are really popular there, but it depends on your audience. So did you say it was Penzance Brewing? I think it was. So in their region, I'm sure that there aren't loads and loads of independent free or tie venues, but I'm pretty sure they'll be on the distribution list for so I'm going into way too much detail here. But for some of the mainstream bars to buy from, and I'm sure given it's a mild, it'll be very, very affordable. It'll probably be maybe 60-70% of the price of one of our mainstream cask beers,
Right.
which then makes it go further afield, which means that more people try it, more people like it, and then they get more votes.
Right.
And that's nothing, no slight on them. That's an affordable style. And
We've gone into too much detail there. Can we do a couple of quick fire questions? Have we got any? Oh, come on. Don't let us down. Chris. Oh, yeah, what about online? What have we got? A couple of quick fire ones to finish. Something that's not going to go into too much detail.
One from Emma. Have we done anything with Holy Goat? That could be fun.
Well, first of all, hello, Emma. Nice to see you. Not see you, but hear from you. Holy Goat. Holy Goat. He started out as part of Vault City, didn't he?
Exactly.
And he does make some amazing kind of Belgian style Sponta sours. And
officially, we haven't worked with him.
We haven't worked with him, but I would love to because I love drinking his beers.
Unofficially, we have. Because we did a spontaneous fermentation collaboration with Fierce Brewery. That's a mouthful, wasn't it? Quite a few years ago, not long, I can't remember if it was pre or post. Do you remember when Sourdough was there?
You still? I was going to say, where was she from? Was she Danish?
Yeah, I think
she was Danish. She was called Dough, and she made sourdough. I'm like, what? Your sourdough? Like, really?
And her partner was the head brewer at Brew Dog's spontaneous fermentation. What was that called? Overworks.
Yeah,
so
he came over from Wicked Weed.
Wicked Weed, yeah. So her partner was, I think his name was Rich, and a real nice guy. And we went to brew with Fierce, and they took us up and gave us a behind-the-scenes tour of Overworks, and they managed to acquire some of the Overworks spontaneous fermentation yeast to use in the collab we did, which then went into barrel. So I don't know if you ever tried any of Fierce. They did the sour project, and it was all the animals, the birds and stuff on it. It was really good.
It was relatively short.
It was only, yeah. And so we brewed a beer with them for that. It laid down in barrels for about 18 months and just kept getting delayed. And then the beer never launched. But Holy Goat bought all of their spontaneous fermented beer.
Good point.
And they've now used them I assume they've used them in different projects. So although we haven't worked with them officially, I'm sure our beer has turned up in a Holy Goat's.
Well, technically, he has sold a beer with our name on that didn't end up with our name on.
So yeah, we'll need to reach out and do something cool. We've still got our spontaneous fermentation beer collaboration with Fine Ales.
Well, one of the things that will happen for our 10th birthday next year is we had a golden sour for which we got behave.
Yeah.
A golden sour, which we put in some award-winning Scottish honey, and we brewed it with the Origin Project, which is the kind of side thing of Fine Ales, and we've had it sat with Brett and various other things in the culture, and we've had it sat for three and a bit years now, and we will be releasing that for our 10th birthday next year.
Yeah, it's going to be a really interesting one. The honey was pretty pricey, wasn't it?
I missed it rather than
spenny.
And that's been aging in Sauternes barrels, which is like a white dessert wine.
It's going to be awesome. So I think that's it for the questions, unless there's one more in the audience. Any more? There we go.
You said about you do it all by computer now, it works it all out for you. Do you miss just throwing things in and it happens?
So Alan off camera has said, you do it all by computer now. Do you miss just throwing shit in and seeing what happens?
I think so. He didn't say shit.
Sorry.
He got creative with the
to be clear, Alan never said shit. I was the one that went potty mouth. Okay. I might have misrepresented what I meant by the computer thing. This isn't an AI hive mind that tells us what to brew. It's I want to make this style, and I want it to be 5%. And then I put in my ingredients, and I want that to be this percentage of it, that to be this percentage of it. And it'll go, well, what you've put in is 4.5% if things behave as you expect them to. So then I tweak it a bit, and I go, that's 4.7. I tweak it a bit, and eventually I'll get to this 5% thing. And I know the efficiency of my system. I know generally how things happen. And so it's a little bit of what you have learned and then this machine assisting your learning. It is not me going, I want to brew a sour, give me a recommendation. I'm not doing the AI thing of, design me this, design me that.
The calculators rather than intelligence. It's doing calculations. It's not. It's not
The calculation is how much sugar, if I mash at that temperature, will I get from that thing? How much body will that contribute? If I put that hop in at that temperature and I expose it for this amount of time, how much bitterness will I get? It's doing that maths rather than me having to do that maths.
So another one here from Jake McCusker. Will you make a dark fruit like cider in the future or standard cider? So we already have a standard cider. It's called Big Apple. And we actually have a dark fruit cider. It's called Big Apple Dark Fruits. We've only just launched in a couple of venues, Carlton Taps, Towers Taps, and here, the Old Grey Mare. So we're just gauging interest, see how popular it is. We might put it in a few more of our venues, but we don't generally sell these ciders outside of our own venues. A few places take them, but they're mainly for our own places. So watch this space.
I mean, on that, so I was having a conversation yesterday with Jeff, our chairman. That's
we probably haven't mentioned him on the live stream before.
Yeah. So we are quite a big, mature business these days. So we brought in a guy who is...
We're big and we're mature. Or immature.
Well, we're big. So we brought in a guy who has kind of done what we're attempting to do before, has had exposure in brewing businesses, hospitality businesses, and various other things that are very applicable to what we're doing. And he's here to tell us whether we're doing the right thing, introduce us to some people, and maybe kind of point us, steer us gently in the right direction if he thinks we're going the wrong way. So I had him in yesterday, and he was saying, well, what's your wishes for the future? What do you want? And I was giving him the wish list of, I quite like pasteurization, I'd like a new cask washer, and all this kind of stuff. And I said, every year we have this conversation, which is, how can we expand the range? And this is how we've ended up doing gluten-free beers or alcohol beers. We ended up doing lagers in a big way. And I said, I am kind of toying with the idea of cider. But then I see what we pay for cider. And I don't know how we could ever make it cheaper than what we're paying for it. It wouldn't be professional for me to disclose what we're paying for the cider. But cider, yeah.
The funny thing is, Jake's just confessed. I didn't recognise his surname. It's our Drayman Jake, because he lives in Hull. He wants the dark fruits across in Hull.
Fair enough. But yeah, I mean, there is cider which is properly produced from apples. If you're doing it authentically, we're talking 6 months to have a proper product. And then there's all this stuff that's marketed as cider, which is apple shit carbonated. Basically, that's what cider stuff is these days, and that stuff they seem to be able to do incredibly cheaply, and we buy a lot of it, we sell a lot of it, but I don't know yet if it makes economic sense for us to make it ourselves, because we get it so cheaply so far. Why would we bother?
Yeah, we have a lot of demand on our tanks, so trying to juggle the capacity of the tanks, make sure the right beer at the right time is a big enough challenge as it is. I don't think it's worth us buying more tanks to brew a product that someone else already does really, really well. But who's to say? We thought that about lager when we first started, but once we got reverse osmosis,
I mean, never say
in my opinion, our Golden Eagle is one of the best lagers or pilsners in the UK.
Quite possibly being a little bit too transparent about all that.
But yeah. Anyway,
I'm going to look from press at the back. I shouldn't be talking.
Yeah, we do need to shoot. We need to get to the bar and get another pint because all my stocks are depleted, and Lee's almost through his. So
he's completely down.
So massive thank you. Firstly and foremostly to everyone who works at Brew York. Amazing job as always, guys. 3 months. 3 months since we last did that, and the more you guys do, the more you make our life easier. So we love that. So thank you very, very much. Secondly, thank you to everyone who continues to subscribe. Our subscribers have done amazing job of keeping our business going in dark times. Now it's more of a fun thing rather than an essential thing, but that's been amazing. So anyone who's a subscriber since day one, gold members especially, quite a lot of you in the audience, thank you so much. Really helps us do the fun stuff as well. And then obviously thank you everyone else who's joined us today, who's given up their evening, the audience, people at home, and anyone else you want to thank?
You know what? I think you did such a good job of doing that. I don't know that I do have anyone else.
We need to thank the bar staff of the Old Grey Mare for putting up with us in 5 minutes time. Cheers, guys, and we'll see you in a few months.
Cheers.
Yeah.